Christ.
Don't we already have a thing?
We were doing so well. I was so excited for us to get an intro that wasn't garbage.
Don't worry, I'll stop doing it. I won't do it every week. It's kind of funny.
But he did it this week, unfortunately.
Salutations and welcome to the Man of Our Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Andy Rhodes. Today is July 4th, 2019. This is episode 11. We forgot to celebrate our 10th episode anniversary last week, so a little belated. Congratulations to both of you. And
10
I am
episodes.
here with Matt Samarco and Dan. You're not wearing your hat like that during the podcast.
All right.
Dan Party.
Yeah, that's me.
You're lucky I allow hats at all. Matt doesn't wear a hat.
Nope.
Because this is his house.
I've been told I don't look good in hats.
Let's see. No.
There was a PAX incident.
Yeah, that was an incident with a free hat. The hat itself looks cool, just
Well,
not
all right. So here's the issue.
on me.
You're a decent human being, and you looked like a dick wearing the hat.
What
Like
kind
you,
of hat
you-
is it?
It was like just
Ashes
a
of Creation.
gangster like
I got it
flat
from,
rimmed hat.
yeah, I
that you
did
got
a-
for free.
I went to
Oh.
a PAX panel. It was Ashes of Creation, like an MMO that is still far away from coming out. This was like 2 years ago.
What was the MMO? What was it? It wasn't Dauntless.
No, Ashes of Creation.
Oh, how's that going?
I don't know. It looks interesting, but I still don't know when it's coming out, so.
Oh. So we got a show today.
We do.
I don't want to use any more adjectives. I don't want to give the illusion that it's going to be like
'Cause
either
we-
amazing or
Gotta
horrible.
keep the bar low.
But it definitely is a show.
There you go.
Not a lot going on in the news this week, so hopefully we'll fill it up with nonsense and anecdotes.
We should just start taking a month after E3 off.
Month after E3 off. That's a long
Video
time.
game burnout.
That was basically the past, like, we've almost hit that point. When was E3? Like 3 weeks ago?
Like the 8th, yeah. 2 months. We should take them 2 months after E3 off.
Dan, what are you playing?
I just got Super Mario Maker 2, and it's quite fun. Only problem with it so far is I tried there's a like multiplayer where everyone plays at once. It's like 4 players, random maps, jumps around, but it
Yeah, I've
is
heard about that.
really laggy.
Yeah.
But other than that, the
Plus, I've heard with the 4-player, like, can't you make it so that only one person can finish, which is kind of lame? I don't know if you've run into that, but I've heard.
I quit after about 35 seconds
If
because
it's
it was
anything
so
like
laggy.
the Super Smash Brothers I've done online,
Oh,
I
it's
know your pain. It's bad. Like,
brutal.
it'll pause for like 5 or 10 seconds, and
Yeah.
then it'll continue.
That's
Yeah,
what
it's
it was.
really bad.
It was so bad. So
Well,
it was unplayable.
Yeah.
But other than that, the single player, the story is kind of fun. Like, not Bowser's Castle.
There's a
Well,
single player story or just levels
Yeah.
to play?
There is,
It's-
yeah, it's actually
it's-
kind of cool,
it's-
from what I've seen.
Yeah, it's pretty basic. Like you have like Peach's Castle, whatever, and it accidentally blows up, and then you have to like rebuild it with coins that you receive for every level that you beat, and then coins that you collect during the game. So like 600 coins like fixes like the front area, like the hall, and then like another 1,000 fixes like the left wing and right wing and
You're a carpenter.
top, and yeah, and it's Mario Maker.
Here's a random question.
Yeah.
We're talking. This is a Mario themed episode, I guess. Are Peach and Princess Toadstool the same person? Is Peach Princess Toadstool, or is that someone else completely?
I think so. Yeah, right.
Yes.
You have no idea, do you?
It's a question all of us should know,
I feel like that's
But
her
we don't.
nickname. So yeah,
so you shouldn't ask it on the podcast and let everyone know that they should stop listening because we don't know what we're talking about.
we kind of do.
Also, she doesn't look like a peach. I don't know why she's called Peach.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the same person.
Better or worse than the first Mario Maker?
Oh, much better just because of the options. And I mean, the only thing that's a little bit tougher is, now that you don't have that second screen built in, you have to one of the 4 buttons is or I should say one of the set.
So
of
are you
4
making
buttons.
these? Are you docked or undocked when you're making the?
Yeah, I was
levels?
thinking the same thing.
I had
have
it
you tried
docked.
Have
But
you
either
tried
way-
touchscreen? See if it's any better.
No, it's still what you still have to do is basically the right set of buttons, the 4 buttons. If you press up, like the up one, I can't remember. It's
You mean the left set of buttons, the arrows?
no, the A, B, X.
Oh,
whatever.
okay.
Whatever direction pops that option up. So like that bar comes up. So that's like all the enemies, and then this one's all the themes, and this one's different things. So you have to, and I think if you double tap it, they all pop up, and then you can like go around the edge of the menu.
Well, I was
and
just
select what
thinking
you
that
want.
in touchpad mode, at least you could like drag and drop, probably.
Yeah, you could probably do that.
I don't know. I never found the touchpad to be all that sensitive.
No,
It's not a great touchpad.
No, I was just playing it, and I just kind of wanted to relax and sit down, so I didn't really want to have my neck kind of in a weird way, so I decided, I'm just gonna leave it docked and play it that way. But even then, it was still like, it didn't really get in the way. It was just kind of an extra step compared to the Wii U version, which you, like I said, you could look up and see it, and then it was just kind of quick. But other than that, like I said, the number of options was great. The playability is still fantastic.
Did you mess around with any of the win conditions? Because I know that's something they added where you can make it so that you have to like get X amount of coins to finish the level, or you have to finish as Big Mario or Fire Mario, or
yeah, you can. I didn't really
not touch the ground and weird stuff like that.
It's really easy to do. You just kind of add that option on. That's more on the left side, like the themes. But it's really, really easy to do. Everything was pretty simple.
How hard is your level? Were you like dickishly hard with it?
No. I tried to make it as...
I would like you to make a level that I will stop hanging out with you because I want to get in a fight.
Wow.
Are you trying to turn this into like reality TV or something like that? Are you trying to cause drama because there is? Are you saying we are uninteresting, so we have to cause drama?
I'm saying I want to make a level that you won't be able to beat, and I want you to make a level that I won't be able to beat.
I mean,
I could do
don't
that,
they
but
make
it's
you
cheap. Like,
don't do the cheap like?
Well, that's what I mean. Like,
doors.
you want to do like the skill. Well, that's what I meant. You could do the skilled ones where you really have to time your jumps and everything.
But they make you complete it once to make sure it's beatable, right?
Which I do like, but it is still cheap. Like if you do that door one, like if you list 100 doors, you'll know like, oh, the 26th door gets you to the third door, and the third door so you could do it, but it's stupid. And I played a few levels, and I do like the fact that you can review it immediately when you're done. I don't like the fact that you can review a level when you quit it. I think that's unfair to the person who made it. So there was a few ones that I played it, but only like the first part, and I didn't love the first part, but it just wasn't like, it wasn't for me. There was like, those
if people
auto
weren't finishing
run...
my level, I'd like to know about it.
Yeah, there are some levels that like are near impossible to beat, where maybe one or two people will ever beat them. So those ones you would want like a rating, I would think, even if you can't beat it.
But I mean, like for example, when I lagged out in the multiplayer, that was on somebody else's map, but I only saw the first like maybe 10 seconds of the level, only because it was so laggy. But it's unfair to that person.
But can you just not vote?
No, you have to vote.
So
they
bad?
really
That's
want
weird.
which
okay,
you can't.
I get it now.
They have yay, nay, or meh. So it's like either way.
That sucks that they don't. They could at least split up into categories like, oh, how hard was it, and then a separate question for like how fun it was.
Well, I understand that they don't want players bogged down by a ton of like question surveys after every single map. They just want one quick
Nintendo
thing.
never thinks of simple things like that.
No, but I mean, if you want to answer more questions, I think that would be great.
Originally, you couldn't even play with your friends.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know there's an issue with like if friends want to play together, it's more of a pain than it is for playing with random people.
You want to play? Give me your 99-digit friend code, please.
Yeah, even the friend code is annoying. Like you have to have like a code for your match and send it for your level and send it to your friend. Like it should be just easy. Oh, I'm friends with you on Switch. I should be able to click on it and see all the things that you've made when I'm playing the game. But
or send
I imagine it's not like that.
Map or whatever.
Nintendo isn't.
But no, the map I made it's not difficult. It's more or less if you're
just one flat line. You just walk.
People have done that. That's one of them. See, one kid made one and he gave you a cape right at the beginning. So I was thinking, okay, he's giving me a cape. He wants me to fly. So I literally flew and there was nothing in the air. So I gave him a bat. I was like, take away the cape because you're ruining your own level. Like, because there's nothing to do.
There's like a type of map called like no touch or something. I forget what it's called, where you just like it'll just automatically finish the level for you, and it like moves Mario throughout the level because you keep hitting things particularly.
Oh, auto scroll. I think they call it. Yeah,
it's kind of interesting, but also
I think it's neat, but it doesn't.
You're just watching someone's like little clip they made. Basically, you're not really playing it at that point.
Yeah, but I do like the fact that now you can play like if you want a playlist of standard themes, no puzzles, no nothing, you can do that. You can search for those. So they did a much better job at kind of breaking down the criteria of what type of level you like. So if you like the dungeons typically it was the ghost ones that had like, you kind of had to find out which door, so it was more puzzly, and then there was usually the outside levels always felt like speed runs or it was on a track or something. Those are the ones I like more than the puzzles. I always felt like the puzzle ones, you just kind of, as long as you did it pretty quickly, you were pretty safe. But
Now, did this fill up your entire week, or were you playing anything else?
no, I'm still jumping between. I'm still wanting to play Vampire. So I played a little bit of that. I got back more into, Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. There we go.
I was ready just in case.
Yeah.
Did you
back.
Did you beat anything?
No. Sekiro is still really, really hard. Although now it's starting to get to the point where like I have enough health potions towards like the end of Dark Souls where it kind of makes everything a lot easier.
Did you beat that butterfly lady?
Yes, she was at the beginning.
Mothra?
Yeah, she's like she's like the first boss, but I hear
she's
my friends have played it. And
pretty much a pain in the
she's
ass.
almost like the hardest boss in the game. It seems like.
Yeah, I still haven't played yet.
Yep.
She's kind of the one that teaches
yeah,
you how to
she's-
play the game.
Kind of definitely a tremendous pain. There's like other ones like that. I think I talked about him a while ago. He's headless and he creates like a poisonous fog around you. You can't jump. You can't walk fast. You have to use like some special item, but they don't tell you. I'm not gonna spoil it for people that want to play. You got to figure it out. And then eventually you can hit him. But it's still a really, really fun game. I'm still finding I just found like a little dagger that he attaches to his elbow. So now you can swipe and you can kind of do a quick attack because usually your one attack is always a set speed. So this one kind of allows it so you can do a really, really quick.
Is it jetting out of the elbow?
Yeah, so it literally every weapon that you have kind of sticks out through his elbow, and when he changes it, he kind of turns his arm back and
That
forth.
is so badass.
It is pretty cool. It's kind of like
I want one.
kind of like Bloodborne. When he snaps the weapon back and forth.
Oh, I was.
It's kind of like that,
having
except
fun
with his
watching
elbow. It is kind of goofy though, because it'll turn into a knife, to a flamethrower, to an extended sword, or to what do they call it? Shuriken, dispenser. It shoots out
that. Shuriken dispenser.
Yeah, you buy those at Spencer's Gifts.
dispenser. Yeah.
I just want to dispense knives
Yeah,
into your face.
I don't want to talk
please.
about video games. I just want to talk about how I can obtain a shuriken dispenser in my real life.
I couldn't think.
Matt,
of it.
tell us about your side-scrolling life this
Okay.
past week.
We're going to talk about the game I want to talk about, which is Harry Potter Wizards Unite.
That's not the game I was talking about.
No, it wasn't.
That's a game
That is
that
not a
nobody
side-scroller
wants to
either.
listen
I just
about.
want to quickly close up shop on this game.
Close Up Shop has been out for a
Wow.
week, and we're closing
yes,
up
we're closing
shop.
this game.
Thank
Are you
God.
done? Have
Yeah,
you quit?
Yes, I quit.
Oh my god, that's so funny. I want to start playing it now.
Oh, why? You hated it.
I don't know, because I want to see how bad it is.
You
I
saw
guess.
it.
I mean,
It's
okay.
terrible.
So I'm not going to...
Wingardium Libicus.
Yeah.
Whatever they tell you to say. It's so dumb.
It's kind of
I know.
tragic because there's some good parts of this game, and I'm not going to get too into it because I played it for we talked about it briefly last week when it had just come out, so we didn't really have a lot of time to play it. I played it for a few more hours to kind of get the gist of give it its fair shot, and there's a lot of interesting long-term things that you can do in that game, but I'm not going to get into it because I feel like that game broke the core essence of what made Pokemon Go fun. Which is, so when you're walking around and you play Pokemon, you've got to find, whatever 300, 400 Pokemon, whatever they're there. If you see a Pokemon that you really need, you get excited about it. You're like, okay, it's at that Pokestop. I got to go, a quarter of a mile away. I got to go kind of quickly, and then you got to try to catch them because you don't have them yet, and that's awesome. Or if you need to, catch a certain number of them to evolve them, you catch as many of that one as you can. So you can when you're walking around, you really have an aim to which place, do I want to go left towards this Pokemon or that right towards this stop, yada, yada, yada. In Wizards Unite, the things that you see on the screen aren't like, oh, that's the Charizard I want. It's, here's this genre of wizarding that you want. So, yeah, it's kind of hard to explain as someone that doesn't know a lot about Harry Potter. But I mean, imagine if you were playing Pokemon Go and instead of seeing a Charizard in front of you, you just saw a fire icon, which is useless information because 90% of those Pokemon that are fire you already have, you don't care about, you're not going to look for. So if you see a fire Pokemon symbol, quarter of a mile away, you're not going to bother going there. But little do you know that that's the Pokemon you've been waiting for, that all your friends have, and you don't have it.
Which, in fact, was one of the most genius things they added
Yeah.
to that game, because in the normal game, you don't know what you're getting. You're going to, random grass, and they deciding
Exactly.
to like actually have the Pokemon on the
So
screen.
Wizards
for you.
Unite works that kind of similar way, where instead of getting a Pokedex, you're filling like a bunch of stamp books, which it's it's kind of interesting, except that you don't know what you're searching for, so you're just walking around. There'll be 8 of these symbols around that all class stand for. Oh, this one stands for platform 3.5, so it's one of something that relates to platform 3 and 3/4 or whatever the Harry Potter BS.
Oh,
is.
that thing that they all ran into.
Yeah.
The pole.
Yeah, exactly. Or like this one's, the friggin' school that they went to. So it'll be like, a bunch of different characters and monsters and books from the school. So it's kind of interesting.
I was
But
always hoping there'd be a movie where someone ran into the wrong pole and just like.
if you only need one
Smash
from
their
that class, you don't care. You don't know. So you're just walking around aimlessly.
So here's the thing, and this is not me defending the game,
Don't do it.
and they did not pay me to say this, but I will say that Pokemon Go was really bad when it came out.
It was.
But I feel like they've learned a lot from Pokemon Go, so this should
But
have
even
been...
when Pokemon Go was bad, it was still fun to play. And we still played it.
It's
'Cause
true.
It was still fun to get more Pokemon in your Pokedex.
That's
And,
true.
like,
But I did quit
because
for a
Pokemon's
while.
about... So did I. But Pokemon is about collecting. Harry Potter's about not.
Yeah, see,
Collect-
But they
that's-
try to make it like collecting.
And
anything.
they could have made a different game, though,
yeah,
instead
that's
of...
what I just feel like they were lazy.
Well, I mean, it's
and
made
just
by
like,
Niantic.
let's
It's
Well, all of
basically
their
just a-
games have been the same format where you're actually going out into the world and doing these, but it didn't need to be a point, click, and capture game. It could have
Yeah,
been
But they
something
could have
else.
they could have done something else.
I don't know what it could have been. I don't care what it could have been. I'm not on that development team. That's not my job.
Well, either way, the end of that story is you don't need to play that game because
you're done.
There's nothing to do because why would I click on 80,000 things and run around to with directionless?
Well,
when I'm
also, I
playing
mean,
an
it's
AR
not like
virtual game.
it's not like you're not playing Pokemon anymore. You're still playing Pokemon.
Yeah,
I know you just.
I was
sent me a
hoping this
gift.
would be like a
Thank you.
new, alternative to that. 'cause-
Dan's wife just friended me finally.
She wasn't friends with you.
I think I sent her a friend request like a year ago. She
Oh.
just never accepted.
Oh,
Or she sent me a new
I
one.
know she
and I
rarely
accepted.
goes into the friend thing, only
So-
because I've sent her gifts. So
Moving on from that game that we're not going to discuss ever again.
I've already forgotten about it.
yeah, I so did I.
So I think the game you were hinting at earlier was Iconoclast. I played that over the weekend and beat it. It's a nice, fun.
Oh, you already beat it.
Yes.
Oh, you
So
beat it.
it's-
Oh.
I did. I just wanted to speak to my
I would give you
expertise.
the air horn, but I feel like I would give you the air horn too often. That would become old. See, with Dan, it's almost never going to happen. And for
True.
listeners that
True.
didn't hear last week, it's
No,
whenever Dan
nope,
beats a
they're fine.
game,
They don't need that.
but we're never going to hear it again.
Oh my god.
Ouch. All right. I remember that.
I mean, I only played it on normal. What do you guys play on?
That's normal usually.
It depends on what type of. If it's
I
a
feel like
third person, like stealthy one, hard.
I feel like a lot of my
expert.
friends play on hard, and it makes me feel like a little man.
For me, it's more about replay. Like, I'll play on normal the first time, and then if I feel like it's not challenging enough, I'll switch it. Or if I want to do a replay, usually I'll do that on hard because I'm used to the game.
Rage 2 I did.
Yeah,
hard.
I just play so many games that I don't want to get stuck like playing on a hard mode for like length. You're basically lengthening the time it takes you to play the
Yeah.
game by a certain percentage, which always.
Well, the other issue is I feel like every developer in every game has their own definition of what normal, hard, or easy is. So I'll usually just go in normal,
Yeah.
just as like a auto.
anyway,
Unless like Rage 2, you already knew what that franchise had to offer. That's a bit of a different story. Like you're going into the sequel, you know?
Yeah. Well, not only that, it's Doom essentially. So
Yeah.
you knew the mechanics of it. You knew it was going to be, shoot to kill, and obviously if you're low on health, try and do a super move so you can get all your health back.
It also depends on like if I start playing it and it's too easy, I'll change that.
Yeah.
Or if it's a game where I'm more interested in the story than the gameplay, I'll usually just keep it on normal.
Yeah. But yeah, so this is a fun. It came out, I don't know, maybe like last year. It's not a new game, but I wanted to check it out for a while. It's a fun Metroidvania kind of side scroller. It's got really interesting different worlds and backgrounds, and like it's very bright and colorful.
It looked very charming.
Yeah,
when I saw it.
that's a good way to describe it. Like the characters are interesting. It's you're kind of this like saving the world, like kind of like an engineer type girl. You're getting all these fun little upgrades for your guns. It's pretty boss heavy. There's a bunch of bosses, especially near the end. It has that thing that I think I've discussed before, where I get kind of annoyed because the end is like 20 bosses in a row almost. But actually, for the most part, these bosses are pretty fun. Like you'll start them and you'll be like, this was impossible. I don't know how to do this. And then after you play it 5 or 6 times, you kind of get the pattern down, and you figure out which weapon is strong against them, and then none of them end up being too much of a hassle. So it was actually pretty fun in that respect. There was I feel like there was an interesting story too, but I just skipped a lot of it because I wanted to shoot things. So I can't speak to that except to say that the characters were very charming and cute.
So was it a lot of like you said Metroidvania, so just a lot of exploring, a lot of
Yeah, a lot of
weapons
exploring.
upgrades.
Yeah, so you start the game and like there's a couple places to the, you know, you can go right or left, just like 2D, and there's a couple places to the left that you can go, and you immediately start seeing, oh, here's a wall I don't know how to break. Here's like looks like a blue zip line that I can't touch, I can't
which is
interact
very
with at all.
Metroid.
Yeah, so then throughout the game, you're like, oh, I got this new weapon. I'm gonna go see if I can use it over there. So it's a lot of that where
Backtrack.
you find the barriers before you find the items or weapons you need, and then
Which,
kinda
for
fun
some
to
reason,
backtrack
I
and
was
run
able to
around.
do in the Metroid games just fine and enjoyed it, but for some reason, not as much with Castlevania, and I don't know why, really, because they're like the same. So Castlevania copied
yeah,
that.
I never played a
from
lot of that
Metroid.
game, to be honest.
So it's really a Metroid game, but we call it Metroidvania because those are the two prominent ones that come up in people's mind. But yeah, Castlevania, I tried Symphony of the Night for the
Sympathy of the
DS,
Night.
and I just maybe it was just the content. Maybe I just couldn't get into like the
I feel.
Oh, I
for
love
you.
the vampire like atmosphere
Eh.
and stuff. See, I like that's.
Eh.
Like, I mean, Metroid.
I'm
is
more
neat,
for
but
like a sci-fi guy. Maybe that's why I like
that's
Metroid
probably why I
better.
like it.
Playing. Oh, yeah. I know that anytime you were playing that, I would definitely stay and watch you. And anytime you were playing this other game with the really bad voice acting, I would get as far away from the living room as possible. 10-2.
10-2? Okay. Oh.
I'm like, what is like? I would be cooking something and I would hear this like really bad voice acting. I turn around, I'm like, oh,
Yeah, that's just
that's what that is.
yeah, that's just a game I've been playing like kind of in the background every once in a while, and it's still that game. It's still,
I'll just look down on it and walk away.
yeah, I'm not really going to touch on it because I already mentioned it in the last couple podcasts.
Yeah.
But it's
But definitely
it's
recommend. What's the side scroller?
Iconoclast.
Iconoclast.
Yeah,
definitely
definitely
recommend
recommended. I mean, you can beat it in a strong weekend if you played a lot. It still took me, I think it was, they actually have a timer, so I think it was 10.5 hours at the end. So it's a pretty, it's like the right amount. I don't think I would want it to be any longer. At the end, it started to get a little draggy, so it was kind of the perfect length.
I haven't done as much gaming this past week as I would have liked. I've had just a lot of life things that have come up with the past
Ugh.
week. I make it sound like some terrible thing happened to me. No, I was just very busy this past week. I had a couple of side projects I was working on. Didn't get that second episode of Link Between Zelda's done yet, unfortunately. However, I did start Metro Exodus.
Metro Exodus?
Why are you saying it so weird?
Guess that's the right way to say it.
Really?
Yeah, Metro Exodus.
I think you guys are just pulling my leg, but
we need to do a
um,
pronunciation
yeah,
class
we do.
before every
no,
podcast.
I know it's Metro Exodus. I was kidding. Sort
Mark
of.
Cerny.
Makani. So I played Metro Exodus. I actually live streamed it for about an hour and 20 minutes on Monday or Tuesday, and it made me realize I need a better headset for my PlayStation if I'm going to stream at all, because the sound quality was just horrendous coming out of my mic.
Really? The PlayStation
Yeah.
Gold headset?
And I went back and watched a couple of my old, when I was testing, I tested this out on Fortnite many moons ago when I was actually still playing that game. And I noticed the sound quality on the mic was pretty bad on that. It's not the internet connection. I'm hardwired in. So I was looking into some better mics I can buy because I want to continue to live stream a little more on PlayStation, especially when I'm playing a new game for the first time.
Can you do it with this at all?
Yeah, that's what I was
The
thinking.
mics we're using for the podcast?
I don't know. I think you can only
Oh,
use
look that
certain
up.
mics with the PS4.
I feel like-
it's
Sounds
not like
right.
it's not like
I mean, it's
plugging
got
it
a
into
U-
the PC.
I
mean,
just
yeah,
feel
it's got
like
a
a lot
USB
of
port, so
these
maybe.
mics now come with like the super duper collector's edition. They come with like a mic. Watch
Yeah.
Dogs 2 came with one. So why wouldn't... Obviously, at that point, if you're buying it for PlayStation, Xbox, or whatever it is...
I mean,
at that-
I looked up specifically ones that were good on PS4, and I have it bookmarked. I just haven't pulled the trigger yet.
Cool.
Well, you might not... Like I said, you might want to...
Yeah, I could.
This.
No, I
Yeah.
should, because these mics actually,
Yeah.
if you're not Dan, this mic actually picks up sound quality pretty well.
Well, you gotta have the voice.
I mean,
Oh, I have the voice for like 2.
I honestly think it's just where you were sitting. We'll see what happens this week.
We changed
um,
seats. Well,
We
2 of us.
We moved around. Pikachu is now in Dan's seat. Dan is now in my seat. I'm in Pikachu's seat, and Matt did not move because he doesn't like change. I didn't want to
I
throw
don't.
too much at him.
I hate change. I hope Dan's
So
voice
Metro
is just completely
Exodus.
different.
I don't know how I feel about it yet. I got to admit,
The first one did not touch me in the way it seems to touch other people. I really didn't like it.
I don't like the way you said
I like
that.
the way you said that.
So I played the first one. I didn't play the second one. I didn't play all the way through the first one. It definitely reminded me a lot of Fallout. This one,
It's like
I guess I'm one of the few
very
people that doesn't like
linear
that
so
game,
far, and also I gotta admit, silent protagonist done incorrectly.
yeah, it's very weird.
So
Kind of like, what do you think?
So when you have a silent protagonist, and I'm going to use, and this is a biased opinion, FYI, I'm going to use Zelda, The Legend of Zelda, just the entirety of the series as an example. When you have Zelda, the characters don't have conversations with you. They simply tell you things. And in some of them, especially the CG ones or the polygon ones, you'll see Link's kind of reaction, or you'll see him, if there needs to be, like, especially in Skyward Sword, I noticed this a lot, or even in Breath of the Wild, where he'll, like, start explaining something by just kind of moving himself around, which I always thought was a little odd, but they don't have right-on conversations with you, where in this, it seems like they're talking directly to you, and your character's supposed to say something also. I'm pretty sure that's your character talking during the kind of in-between chapter parts, so if they got a guy to narrate those, why couldn't they just get a guy to at least give me options? Like in Fallout 3, you at least had options to reply, which would be intuitive of a conversation, or this is just like this chick that I'm maybe married to, maybe dating, I don't know what our status is. She's like...
Hashtag complicated.
Yeah, it is very complicated. I don't really know. Like, her dad's my boss. It's very complicated. So...
Well, it would have, in Metro Last Light, you find out a little bit more of who she is.
Oh, see, well, I thought it was different characters in each game. No. Oh, well, anyways.
That's why I was saying, I'm surprised you started with the third one.
And that's when I asked you,
well, yeah,
did I need to? And you said no.
Well,
but
but
you want world building.
No, but you could have built...
If I knew it like dealt
from...
with the direct characters from the games, I would have probably gone back and played.
Well, the first one, I just remember, like, your guy, like, you play a different guy and he dies, and then you play another one and he gets killed, and then it's kind of like keeps going back and forth.
But she's like expositioning the entire game. Not to mention, it's much more linear than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a lot more open world. Does it open up?
It's not open world. It's more like the backtracking type of thing. Like, you'll land on, like, an island or whatever.
I'm on a choo-choo train right now.
Well, yeah, eventually the choo-choo train will break down or whatever, or stop, and then you got to get out in the area, and then there's kind of like an optional thing over here and an optional thing over here, but that's when the game became so buggy and slow for me. That's when
I haven't gotten to that part yet.
Yeah.
I just blew up enemy train
and went to the train.
Took on my train, and then that's when I'm like, all right, this is a good point to stop. But so far, it's just been like I do like the survival elements. Like you have to like change out your filters and wipe off your mask. I'm like, oh, these are things I'd like to see in a
Fallout
better game, like Fallout 4 specifically.
Yeah,
not that other one we don't talk about. Yeah, it's very linear, very exposition-y. I like the world. Like, I understand it's based on a book series, which is very interesting. I know Matt and I have a mutual friend who's very into the book series and the game. He's also a huge Fallout fan. Shout out to Alex. But yeah, it's very just a lot of exposition, and it's just kind of, it seems like it's kind of an annoyance to play. So I don't know how much more I'm gonna play of it. We'll see. I'm gonna try to I'll see how buggy it is when I get off the train and where it goes. But if it doesn't open up,
it does. It does. It opens up, but it's not open world. It's far from it. It's very like, here's a location. You can go here and here and here if you want, but this is the main goal.
Also, I'm finding it very unbelievable that, like, you're in Moscow to start, and it's like you've been searching for other life for so long. And it's like, you're this guy, I think his name's Antov or Ankov or something like that, and you've been supposedly searching for other life around, like, in other areas around Moscow for, like, years and years and years and years, and then all of a sudden a train passes through and you're surprised. Like, have you never seen the train pass through? I know there was, like, dampeners or whatnot to shut down their scanners, but it seems a little unbelievable that all of these decades they've been, like, not knowing that there's other life out there, and they were just able to keep it from them.
Yeah, no, I know. It's just a bit weird. I mean, everyone's supposedly, like, underground, so, I mean, maybe that's why, but
I don't know. But we'll see how it goes. Other
that's
than
when
that,
it got buggy. That's when it ruined it for me.
Yeah.
Actually, when it opened up, I actually liked when it was narrow. Just something about the rendering. It was slow. Every time you'd walk over certain items, it would slow you down. So you go from, like, a normal walking speed to like a crawl, essentially. And then when you're trying to run away from a monster or something, because the game is very like, hey, conserve your ammo, don't shoot at everything if you don't have to. But then if you do get caught, it's just pointless to
Very
run.
complicated button system too.
It is, and that's why when you get into a fight, sometimes
Like,
you'll be like sitting there, and it's like, oh,
every
change your gun?
time
No. Like I need
Every
to...
time I was playing this, my two thoughts were either A, I could be playing Fallout right now, or B, I could be playing Doom right now and probably having a better time. Other than that, Apex Season 2 came out.
Woo!
So I've been playing that a little
Me
bit
too.
yesterday and today.
That
and
is fun.
They really changed
They
the
changed
map.
a lot.
I'm
They
very
did a lot of stuff.
confused. They added some challenges. They
There's
added a new
giant
character.
monsters on the map.
I got the battle pass for free, so I can't complain. Matt and I are both having fun with it so far. We've only played a little bit. We've gotten pretty good each match, I'd say.
Yeah, off and on. I do
Decent.
okay, and then I do awful.
Like I came in first once, second a few times in just the past couple days. So yeah, looking forward to that. The challenges keep it going. They've made it a little more interesting.
Yeah, they have a bunch of new challenges, but I feel like a lot of them. The one thing I don't like is they kind of make you play differently. So a lot of the challenges will be like kill 2 guys in this specific area, or do a finishing move on a guy in this area, which kind of incentivize. Like sometimes when I'm playing solo, a lot of people will just even more than usual go off and do their own thing because they're trying to do these daily challenges, which I don't know. It's kind of frustrating because it's a team-based game, so you want people to be like, all right, priority is to win here.
Yeah, I think this would be a good time for them to introduce a free-for-all or duos
Yeah, maybe.
matchmaking scheme, because I think when you're trying to add, basically just to reiterate what you said, when you're trying to add in challenges, specific challenges like that, you can't have a 3-man squad and have that go okay when you allow people to just go off on their own.
See, I like when games tell or kind of push you to try new things. Like,
Yeah, like
try
a
a
new
new
character.
weapon, or try get
That'd be
like
cool
10
with-
kills with this assault rifle. Get and then because
Yeah.
then it kind of gets you like, oh, you know what, this gun isn't as bad as I thought it was.
Which
I
is
have
what
a
happened to
couple
me
of
today.
those.
Yeah.
I was pushed to use the devotion, which I don't normally use. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh wow,
It's a good weapon.
This tears through people
especially
when
when
you
you
have
have,
the turbocharger.
if I remember,
Turbocharger.
Yeah, the turbocharger, and I started to like it a little bit more. And then like I was like, I don't know if I want
It's
to like
the
machine gun
3-man
has a
squad format that's dragging it down.
Well, that type of challenge where, like I said, because as Matt said, it requires team building,
Yeah.
and the goal is to win.
Yeah, it
not,
can be
not to
frustrating 'cause,
complete
like-
challenges. You can
Yeah.
complete challenges on your own, or
That's another thing that's kind of annoying is that they're all individual based. So, me and Andy will drop in on someone and maybe I'll do 180 damage to him and Andy will finish him off and do 20 damage and then I won't get the credit for the kill.
Yeah.
And then, vice versa, that happens to us too. And it's a little frustrating. Like
it should be more team.
The
lucky thing is
team oriented. Like
the
take
da-
down a person together.
Yeah,
Assist
or a team.
Yeah.
Or
The
damage.
daily challenges aren't as detrimental to get in. The weekly challenges will luckily stack. So the weekly challenges, which are the important ones, you have like technically 12 weeks, 13 weeks to do. So at least you have a lot of time. It's probably just stuff you'll get as you go anyways. So like between Matt and I, we're fine. It's the third person that will normally probably like go off and do his own thing, but we're used to that anyways because people suck.
Yeah, and they released a new ranked playlist, which is actually pretty interesting. It's like 6 different ranks that you can climb up. You start as bronze. Andy doesn't agree.
I'm just very confused.
It's
You sent me too
complicated.
much information at once. There was a new character. There was new things to the map. All these like new modes. Stars are involved, and I'm just like, Matt,
stars.
I'm gonna shoot
Well,
things.
stars
There's
are for the-
stars.
stars are for the
I don't know
daily
what's going
challenges.
on.
Yeah, they made
These
it way
crazy
too
kids and their
complicated.
shrinky dinks and their pogs and their 90210. I don't know what's going on.
What?
You're
Like, are we
doing
talking
your-
stars and like celebrities?
Well, you get
playing,
a
or-
certain amount of stars based on how many daily and weekly challenges.
It's
you
a new
complete.
currency.
And the stars, if you get a certain number of stars,
Dan rolled his eyes.
you
I just
get,
want the
you
listeners
get-
to know that.
You get a bonus, like a full level. But stars are basically the equivalent of experience. So it's like 3,000 stars is the equivalent of 3,000 experience they would just get from normal, not dying or killing people. But the ranking is interesting because, like right now, I think most people are in bronze because it just came out a couple days ago. But there's really no detriment to losing. Like you don't lose anything. So it's almost like matchmaking doesn't begin until you get to silver. Because once you get to silver, you have to pay one rank point to enter, and then you get more rank points by either scoring in the top 10, 5, 3 first, or you can get kills and get more rank points. So in bronze, where everyone starts, it's like free to enter. So it's really just a count of how long you've played, not how good you are. But I guess that's nice for people that aren't good, like me, to actually make some progress before we get whaled in silver and gold. It's pretty fun, but I'm also worried about once we get to the higher ranks, like it'll be even more frustrating when people are trying to do their daily challenges and you're trying to win and just things are kind of getting in the way of that.
I would feel like the more higher up you get, the more people are focused on winning.
I would think so.
I would also think that if people are trying to do challenges, they're doing it on not ranked, which is what I think
I mean,
should
you're still
probably
gonna get
do
those,
if we're doing challenges.
where you guys are going to get that
We haven't been,
well,
but
that's the other problem. You guys are getting that single player that's playing by himself. So, and he probably thinks every one of you is playing by yourself.
yeah. By the way, single guy, I don't know you yet, but you suck already
Ouch.
because you're gonna go
That's
off on your own.
unnecessary.
And you, how many times do we play with a single guy who sucked today?
That's true. They're not very good.
Just be a team player. That's all I'm saying.
In their defense, I'm not very good either. So
That's why you should play something else.
I make a sweet,
But we're having
solid
fun.
effort though.
Yeah, that's true. I want to find another multiplayer game.
Dan, if you find another multiplayer game, you know I'm always up to try new multiplayer games.
Yeah, but I don't want to drag you guys out of it if you
Like
if
when
you're
that
enjoying it.
Modern War Dumb comes out, I'll probably try that. When is that coming out?
My birthday,
October 25th.
3 games coming out my birthday. Crap.
Is that on a Friday?
I
This year?
don't know. It's either a Friday or a Tuesday.
Do games just kind of come out on any day during the week now?
No,
Yeah, it used to be
Tuesday or Friday.
Tuesdays, but now it's Tuesdays
Or
and Fridays.
Spider-Man came out yesterday and it's a Tuesday and I was very confused. I saw it.
I feel like it is
No,
usually
good.
Tuesdays.
It's
and
gotten
Fridays.
phenomenal reviews, so I'm pretty excited.
I'm not gonna say anything, but the
Don't.
spoiler, the post-credit scene made me very happy. Is all I was gonna say.
Okay. I mean, they usually do.
Because they brought they brought an actor in that I really like, who I was really hoping was going to be in the movie. Is
Was
all.
it Keanu Reeves?
I was just gonna say
It was not Keanu Reeves.
they're trying apparently
Lame.
to force
They
to
are
make him a hero. of some
specifically
sort.
MCU, right?
Oh,
I'm
I
pretty
just
sure
heard that
it's
they're trying to
MCU.
make him a
I don't know why I
superhero.
asked you. I'm the one who knows all that stuff.
Yeah.
So guys, something happened last night.
On the way to heaven. Sorry, that was like a Phil Collins song. Sorry. Something happened on the way to heaven. Yeah, anyway, just go. Yeah.
Kind of have some respect for a deep reference like that.
All
Phil
right.
Collins song.
Yeah. Anyway.
That was a compliment, Dan.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
He's like getting. I'm like, I have respect
But
for your
usually-
reference, and he goes, "Oh, sorry."
Well, it's usually when I make some sort of joke or something, you're just like,
Well, I mean, when you make references about video games to middle-aged people that don't understand it, yeah, I'll have that reaction. But when you're making a Phil Collins reference to me, I'm gonna be like, yeah, do it.
all right. Well, something happened,
I just so want
and not on the way to heaven. So go ahead.
and get away from Phil Collins.
So, I had a moment last night
Oh boy.
that I thought was
Is this
going
appropriate
to.
for-
It's in your apartment.
Okay, this is a PG-rated podcast.
Okay.
I had a moment last night where I felt like I was on top of the world, and then I was soon afterwards brought back down to reality.
Throwing a lot at us here.
Wow.
So there's only 5
The listeners
people
are concerned.
on the committee to appoint Nobel Peace Prize winners in literature. So my chances of getting a Nobel Peace Prize in literature are very slim. I am officially in the running. I published my first article yesterday on 2guysplayingzelda.com.
Jesus Christ.
I'm just saying I'm in the running. I didn't say I was going to win. There's a very slim margin for me to win, but my article is up there, and both of the guys who run the website said, like, wow, good job. It's a very lengthy article. Like, we appreciate that. So, yeah, I'm officially writing for the website. Dan is, I don't know if Dan's trying to hold in anger or laughter or frustration.
I just feel like there was a lot of buildup.
Dan,
Yeah,
Dan,
I was
you,
I expected
either
so
of you
little, and I
could
was
try
still
to be on this
disappointed.
committee. Evidently, they're in Norway?
Yeah, I'm good.
The Norwegian
I'm terrible at
Parliament.
writing. That's why I'm doing a
Actually,
podcast, because I'm terrible at
I
writing.
actually had to have my girlfriend proofread it. She didn't like. It's not like what I wrote was bad, but she was an English major,
Well, that helps.
so she did good. But yeah, so I'm writing articles for 2guysplayingzelda.com now. It was kind of a video reaction article, but also implementing my own thoughts, as well as I'm going to continue. They kind of like I was gonna say prescribe. They kind of like delve out videos each week that you can write about, and everybody takes one. But also, I'm going to be kind of writing my own articles. It's obviously strictly Zelda based because that's what the website is. It's a Zelda based website.
Really? I wouldn't
But
have guessed. Two guys
I
playing Zelda.
was very excited to write my first article. That actually,
Hooray.
I'm
Matt
getting,
says with sarcasm.
I'm getting a sense that neither of you care, which kind of bums me out. But
We care. We're going to read it.
that's fine. I mean, you can. It's like 7 paragraphs.
Okay, I'm not going to read it anymore.
Really?
I'm kidding. I'll read it. Jesus.
Actually, I was thinking about that. I was writing that. I'm like, oh wait, when people write for websites, shouldn't they write them in like small blurbs? Because that's like, it's supposed to like keep your attention or something like that. But no, so there was this video done by Commonwealth Realms, I think was the YouTube channel, and they did a video just on the speculation of the Breath of the Wild sequel, and I took that video that he did, kind of reiterated what I liked about the video, but also like kind of some opposite thoughts on the video and what I think about Breath of the Wild sequel and when it might be coming out and stuff like that. So just wanted to toss that out there
Sweet.
because I was proud. I'm sorry. I know both of you were looking at me like, God damn, Andy, shut up.
Plug the website.
I am very proud.
Plug the website. Plug the name of your article.
2guysplayingzelda.com. Also going to be, popping them on my Twitter.
Now, is it Manabar Podcast? What is like your title on there, or is it
Highly and Andy.
Okay.
But then I listed the website as our YouTube channel.
Woo. Okay. So there you go, getting the word out.
I could have listed the Podbean channel, but I feel like I don't know how many people actually go to Podbean as its own thing as opposed to just like downloading a podcast elsewhere. Most of our downloads come from Google Play.
Okay, cool.
Spotify being a second.
Weird.
Line, which iTunes isn't even like the top 4.
That's weird. I thought everyone used iTunes.
Well,
they actually got rid of iTunes.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, didn't they get rid of it?
Something like
they
that.
just replaced it though, wasn't it the same
with
thing
like
still?
Apple Play
Yeah, it's the
probably
same
or
thing.
some BS like that.
Isn't that the thing just in cars? I thought that was. Is that the actual
movie?
No, Apple Play.
Oh,
I thought that was like
I
Android
got
Auto.
a Samsung. We all have. Oh no, you have an Apple product.
I do.
Ooh,
Dana and I have Android. Just throwing that out there.
we're not better than you, man. Andy may think.
So PlayStation Plus.
Oh, I'm so
Released-
excited for Soccer Game 2019.
Is that what it's actually called?
I don't know what it's called.
Was it? What were
Wait,
originally?
it can't be FIFA 19.
No, I think it was like some other one.
Did you hear about this?
No.
PlayStation Plus originally released what games were going to be free, and then there was such an outcry that the game sucked that they changed them. Now it's Detroit Become Human instead.
Oh,
Which
see,
is a really fun
unfortunately,
game.
I know this is probably kind of sounding kind of like a jerk, but usually I own the games that they come out.
Yeah, anything,
That's not-
anything
that's
I'm
not
looking forward to,
That's
I
not
already
sounding
own.
like a jerk. That just means
Okay.
like you usually get the most popular games when they come out. There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with
Well,
that.
I actually have.
For me, it works out splendidly.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I
played-
didn't have GameFly when Detroit came out. Now
See,
I can play
The
it.
good thing too for you, Andy, if you like Detroit, you can go back and play the catalog.
Heavy Rain and
Yeah.
Beyond Two Souls.
I heard.
Was that the game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I get it right though?
You did.
Yes,
You did. It stars
2 points for Gryffindor.
two famous actors.
Oh, Ellen Page.
Yep. And the guy from Boondock Saints.
Willem Dafoe?
There you go. Look at that.
William Dafoe. That's the actor
William
I was trying
Dafoe.
to think of this morning.
Right.
That was
Yeah,
a
Detroit
Rick-
Become
that was a
Human
Rick
is
and Morty
really fun
reference.
game, though. Also, I feel like bad for this whoever made the soccer game because like they took that out of the PS Plus lineup. So
I don't think the
I don't know how that
developers get
works.
extra money when people download their games through their free PS Plus, though.
I
Also,
think they do. I think they get paid a certain amount. Like,
Oh, really?
Per download. or
Yeah,
something.
because they're
that's
trying
why
to
they
advertise to play it, and also on top of that, it gives the developer a well, I don't know if that game has any DLC, but at least it would give people
Yeah.
access. Like, hey, I like the game, and
or at least advertises the developer's work.
well,
I
on
think
top of
that's
that,
good.
yeah, exactly. Would probably and PlayStation. I really like the store because it brings you to like games you may like, and also like I'm pretty sure previous games of the genre. So it would bring you to Beyond Two Souls on PlayStation.
Yeah.
3 or a Heavy Rain, which
Yeah.
now just came to
I
PS4,
definitely-
which I highly recommend for people that love kind of like detective kind of games. Because
Heavy Rain.
the story was very like gut wrenching, and also the twists were really, really, really interesting.
They've released quite a few AAA titles on PS Plus over the past like couple years, but
They do. They wait. The other last
Honestly, I was
Borderlands Borderlands Handsome Jack collection.
Oh, that's right.
And on top of
yeah,
that, they-
Bloodborne too.
Yeah, and they could have done not only that, they could have had you try and buy it because Borderlands 2 just came out with free DLC that apparently links the it's almost like Mass Effect did this. It was like a prequel like add-on
yeah
right
to link to between 2 and 3.
Exactly, right as a link between Mass Effect 2 and 3. Same thing with Borderlands, a link between Borderlands 2 and 3. Which I think, for free, right before the game comes out, they could easily just say, hey, we added DLC, buy our game again.
I cannot hear a link between and not think of a link between.
I know,
two
I thought of
worlds.
that. I almost said that by accident. But I thought that was kudos to Gearbox and Borderlands people for doing that for free.
But I wonder how many people are actually going to play that, because it's like a cool idea, and I played Borderlands 2 so long ago, but the idea of playing it all over again just to play a short campaign at the end seems kind of too much of a task.
I started playing it pretty
Unless I guess
recently,
you
but
had,
I
like,
don't.
a
Unless you play a
game.
new character.
I don't plan on buying the DLC to do that.
No, it's free. It's free up until July 12th or 19th.
I thought you were gonna say like July 3rd. I'm like, that's
No,
today.
No, it's
That's
free. It's
yesterday.
free for like 2 weeks because they're trying to incentivize.
So can
you.
I go download it now and just have it?
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, I might as well because they give you. I believe there's like new character skins and all just free stuff that you can get throughout that
Yeah.
thing. And hey, it's free.
The PS Plus games. Just going back to that. I definitely used to play more of them than I do now, and that's not a narrative on the quality of the games they have had on PS Plus as of late. I just think they used to do like really sweet indie titles that were really like hidden gems, like Diamond in the Rough games, and now they've
Yeah, I feel
just
like they've
done.
gotten
been
I
doing more of
recall
the-
walking into your room when we were rooming together, and you were climbing some huge
Grow home,
tower.
grow home.
That was
such a fun
pretty,
game.
That was a pretty cool looking game.
That's
and it
how I
looked kinda,
played.
It looked kind of like platformy.
Yeah, it was
looked
really
pretty
fun. Grow home.
Kind of looked like
Broken
Astrobot,
Age.
except not in 3D, like not virtual reality.
Yeah, Grow Home, Broken Age. What was that other one? Gone Home, which is a little bit of a different game. I played so many really neat indie
Wait,
titles.
did you say Gone Home and Grow Home?
Yeah, they were both.
Oh, that's
Gone
funny.
Home was kind of like you thought it was Silent Hill, but then it ended up not being Silent Hill type game. And then Grow Home was much more of a cell shaded
Yes.
platformer, I would say. I guess
The main character, I feel like he looked like oh god, who's that little alien?
Gur.
Yeah, Gur.
He did look a little like Gur.
So that's
A red Gur, a red boxy Gur,
Yeah.
like a Gur from an alternate universe, but not as much since they started introducing more AAA games. Like when they came out, like kind of like what you were saying, when they came out with Bloodborne for free. I already had Bloodborne at the time.
Yeah.
I don't
So
think I played a PS Plus game for free. I don't think I've played any of those in like years. I always
Yeah.
just download them, or I put them into my library and then never played them because they're not games.
that's how I
wanna play.
found out.
Phantom Pain, that was another one. That was a huge
Yeah,
game
they
to
do
have
some
for
big
free.
ones. That's how I found out about Soma. Was it popped up and I don't love paying for the digital ones, but hey, if I have a chance to play for free, and now going forward, well, I also should have known that they made Amnesia, so I knew that this game was probably going to be good. But
Dark Descent.
the next one that they make, I'll be even more interested.
And then
So-
a few months ago, they used to do the PS3 and PS Vita games, and they took that away. And I was kind of hoping they would either add to the number of games, or maybe like add a PSVR game every month or something like that.
just
And
kinda,
I
like,
feel like
dropped it off.
I feel the quality hasn't gone up or anything.
Well, I
We haven't
mean,
really gotten anything for
Within a couple months, you'd go through all of the PSVR games.
Oh no, there's a ton of them. There's a ton of them. There's a ton of hot garbage ones. There's not that many great ones, I think.
I
but
want what
it'd
is
still
it?
be nice to
Hot
have.
Red Hot or whatever it is. It's the one
Super
where
Hot.
Super Hot. Yes, that looks.
Is that a VR only game?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
I actually
Yes,
really
yes.
want to play that. Damn you, PlayStation.
I mean,
Actually,
you have someone
that's a good
who
point,
has it.
though. That would be a good way to like
Yeah, get
Incentivize
people to be like,
people
incentivize
to,
yeah,
hey,
people to get
free,
the
yeah.
VR.
And not only that, they recently. I'm sorry because I think we mentioned this last week, but there's a real story VR game that just came out too, and it's kind of like Mafia. I think you mentioned it last week.
True Blood,
Ye-
Truth Blood.
something like that. Yeah, and
Something
that
like that.
looks like an actual real story, like
True Blood
bank
is that-
heist one.
Dumb vampire TV show. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
but
is it True Blood? Is
I
that
think
the
it's
game
True-
they
it's
made?
not
Truth
True Blood.
something, but it's like a Mafia game
Please,
that did really
please
well.
tell me I can play as. Oh, what
It's
was
not
her
that
name?
game.
Yeah, it's
She
Blood
was
and Truth. Okay, I was
Blood
very
and Truth.
close.
You were close. That's why I knew the truth was
Yeah,
right.
Blood
But
and Truth. I was just.
She
backwards.
was Rogue in the X-Men movies, and she was in True Blood, but it's not True Blood. We're already going way.
yeah, he got it. Blood and Truth.
I want to know what her name was though. I forget
Um,
the actress's name. Anyways, yeah, I plan on playing Detroit. I'm pretty excited that that's
Yeah, it's a really
on the
fun game.
list.
Like I might go ahead and play it some point when I don't have anything else to play and like do different, go completely rogue.
Yeah,
Because whenever I play those games, I'm like, what would I do in this situation?
yeah.
But I just
how
want to be
many-
like, what if I hated everyone?
I have such a hard time being the opposite
the
of what.
dick?
Yeah,
Well,
me
it's
too.
like in Mass Effect, like I tried to play an entire series of like being an asshole, and I like a lot of them made me cringe. I'm like, ugh. Like,
it's
I
hard for
gotta
me to
kill
do,
this
too.
guy. Like, some guy would be like, oh, I stole something. And then you're like, shoot him. Like, no. Like, oh. Like, but it's interesting to know, like, how
How it plays
it makes
out
you
and-
feel, and also, you know, how it plays out completely different from, well, depending on the game. Some games are like, oh, make a choice, and it doesn't matter. But games like Mass Effect or this game, I forget how many, but the number of endings is like
Yeah,
crazy.
there's a lot of stuff. that happens
And
in
I
the
like
game.
the fact that when you finish a chapter, they have almost like I don't know what you want to call it, like
like a web
like a
of
chat, like a
decisions.
chart, yeah, of how many like decisions could branch off into
Yeah, it's kinda
different
cool.
things. So there's a free, well, if you have PlayStation Plus, you can download it for free. If you don't, they actually do have an entire mission that you can play for free, a demo.
Ooh, is that the beginning?
I don't know if it's the beginning, but it's the one where you play as like the I don't know if it's a detective,
The
but
detective?
he's like a consultant. Like he comes in and there's a
The main guy who's
there's
like
a-
on all the covers.
yeah,
right?
there's a rogue android that has taken.
On
It's
the
like
roof?
a babysitter, and it's
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
on the roof.
Oh, that's
That's
the
the
demo we
beginning.
played at PAX.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's-
if you
that's
don't
the
have
first mission of the
PlayStation,
game.
yeah, if you don't have PlayStation Plus, give the demo a try at least.
Yeah, that's like the
yeah.
might be the best 20 minutes of that game too. That's like the best.
It was intense.
It's
It was
really
pretty intense.
cool.
You tell me the best 20 minutes happens in the first 20 minutes.
Oh, did you already
Yes.
beat it?
Yeah.
Oh, he
wow.
you gameflied that, right? Or did you own it?
I redboxed it when it came out.
Is
'Cause-
Redbox still a thing?
Yes.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I just played it in one day
Well,
for
like-
$2 and then just returned it. It was great.
Hmm.
It's not
That's
too long
That's
of a
the
game.
tough thing with those kind of games. It's more,
Yeah, there's
I
no
mean,
incentive to really buy it and replay.
yeah,
I mean, you can
it's-
replay it and play the different, options, but even still, it's like a story game, so you're not getting a lot of fun action.
and
out of
it's not really a fun game to actually
Yeah.
like play. It's
Yeah,
just kind of
it's
like,
more
oh,
of a
I
fun
already
story
did
to
this.
You
watch.
want to know
A,
what's
B,
going to
yeah.
happen with the story. That's why I got onto the GameFly train, was because there's a lot of games that don't have the replay value that I don't want to pay $60 for, and that's one of those games. I mean, I got it free now
Yeah.
for PlayStation Plus, but
There's some games that are linear that I still like love to go through again. Uncharted, Last of Us, just because the story
oh,
and
God,
the
I have to
gameplay was
replay
so
Last of
good.
Us. I really want to replay. I
That's
still
something
have
you
to
could do
do
probably
the
like a month right before Last of Us 2
yeah.
comes out.
I still want to do I haven't done the DLC for it either.
So
Let's
see,
for Last of Us.
yeah.
Oh yeah, it's
oh,
it's
Ellie and the girl.
Yep, prequel DLC.
Well, that's it. That's it.
I did already know that it was Ellie and a girl. Speaking of Detroit, though, I guess the developer wants to stop making PlayStation exclusives. I don't know if Sony owns the developer
I
or
forgot that
not.
was an exclusive.
Yeah,
I
all
forgot.
of them have been. Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, and Detroit.
Heavy Rain, I believe, is
Nope.
It's
Nope.
not anymore. It is.
That was a PS3 exclusive.
No,
that
I know it
came
was a
out.
PS3 exclusive, but I thought they moved that over to Xbox. But
I
I could
don't
be wrong.
recall.
I could be wrong. I thought.
So is
I
not
could
is
be
it a
wrong.
Sony-owned developer or simply a developer that had signed a contract with Sony?
I think it's a.
It's like, for
contract.
instance, Naughty Dog is an in-house Sony developer.
Yeah. No, I believe they're.
So did they eventually come to the 360 or the Xbone or something? With,
Heavy Rain did
Heavy
not
Rain?
come to 360, but I thought Heavy Rain came out for both systems. I could be wrong. I could be very, very wrong. But I thought. So,
I do know, speaking of Beyond Two Souls, I do know that the reason they Ellie in Last of Us, just kind of bring it all around, had an originally a different character model, but it looked too close to what Ellen Page looked like in Beyond Two Souls, and they came out at the same time. So they had to change the model of Ellie to look a little different than Ellen Page, and she still kind of
I was
looks
going
like
to say,
Ellen Page.
didn't she try and sue at some
Something
point?
like that.
I thought she did.
I don't know if it was Ellen Page or the developer.
Yeah, I can't remember. But
Because the person who voices Ellie, Ashley Johnson, she looks nothing like.
not only that, she's older, right? It's like a lot, or significantly older than the character she plays.
Oh well, I mean, yeah, Ellie's 14. Ashley Johnson's like in her 30s,
Yeah,
probably.
but that's still
Yeah.
impressive.
I thought you meant then Ellen Page. I'm like, no, Ellen Page and Ashley Johnson are around the same age.
Oh no,
about.
no, I meant the actual character. Now it's going to be interesting because she looks like she's in her 20s or something.
So I'm gonna do a new segment on this show right now.
Just taking over. Just doing whatever you want.
Well, all right,
Matt and
I'm-
I did not approve this.
I
Let's say-
apologize. Was there anything else we wanted to talk about with Detroit and the PS Plus stuff? That's what I thought.
You can't just use our lack of interesting commentary
no,
against us.
Dan made me think of this segment
I'm sorry, Matt.
because he talks about it a lot, and I want to do rate this box art.
Rate this box art.
Oh, I like it. Cool.
See, you guys always come at me with like.
well, we're a
instant-
little nervous. I mean, one of them you brought out,
Earlier, I said like,
You-
"Oh, we're doing a little
mean-
change."
you had a
and
one-on-one conversation with
I don't
an animate
love it.
doll. So, and then
we
he's talking about the fact that Pikachu's on the other side of us. But earlier I said, like, oh, we're doing a little change up, and instantly they're like, what's gonna, and it's just like,
Matt
I just
does not like change, and I am not.
Well, it's an audio podcast,
Yeah, it's a little
so
nerve-wracking.
I don't think the audience is going to know what we're talking about. Is my concern.
So I got some box
You be
art.
the judge.
I got some box art here.
Ooh.
What kind of rating system do we want to use? Do we want to use a number system or more of a?
How about how much it draws us to want to potentially buy the game without actually knowing anything about it?
What are you going to rate that as?
1 to
Yes, buying,
Grace.
renting, or not touching.
Buy. Okay, well,
Or you
if
can
I
do the
say
Mario Maker 2, yes, meh, or no.
yes, may or no, I like that. That works. Ooh. It's definitely leaning towards yes.
Andy is showing us the box art
Yeah,
to
all right.
Link's
Yeah, I was
Awakening.
gonna say maybe we should explain. Okay, so this
So they
is
just released this box art to Link's Awakening, and I think it looks charming AF. Like, it looks really
I mean,
nice.
I'm more
That is an
excited about
adorable
the.
looking-
I was already
Link.
buying it, so I'm a biased opinion.
I'm more excited.
Look how gorgeous that looks, though.
No,
That's
it
like
is.
a nice
It is.
depiction of what the game is, you know?
No, absolutely. It's
not a face.
just what?
It's but it is also exactly what you're going to see in game as opposed to some other type of art
Well, yeah,
style.
it's better than old man face like Metal Gear Solid 4.
So what's you seem a little apprehensive though. I
No,
wanna
it's
know what that
definitely a
is.
yeah. It's definitely if I had to put it, it's a yes. It just feels a little busy for me. I'm very simple.
Yeah, it's a little busy.
So that's why it definitely doesn't get the.
So there's a good busy. Actually,
Maybe that we should probably make that a 5 category. Like yes, like definitely yes, and definitely no at the very end. So
there to me, there's good busy and bad busy. I'm gonna actually
It's a-
pull up.
it's a
I'm
good
gonna pull up a
busy.
poster of what in my opinion, is bad busy, and this is actually a movie poster.
oh god.
So I know that's kind of maybe not the same, but it's the same thought process because it's still trying to drag you into pay money to see it.
So how you doing?
I'm great.
I'm glad Matt's doing great. Andy's
So
trying to
anyways,
come up with a
yeah,
picture.
what I showed was they released the box art for Link's Awakening this week, and I just thought it looked very charming. It was a very good depiction, a nice cel-shaded depiction of not only what the gameplay is going to look like in game, but also what you can maybe expect from the game. A very light, colorful game.
2 things, Andy. One, have you seen anything about the box art for the special edition that comes with the art book?
That might have been that. I don't know. Or the other one is when
Well-
he's on the raft.
I don't know, but all I know is that it's coming together, and I highly doubt that they would just package both of them together, like in a very boring way.
This to me is just way too busy.
oh yeah, there's way
There's
too much going on.
so much going on.
okay,
in this
what he's-
poster.
Star Wars.
yeah,
the
what- Force Awakens cover.
You got your
it's
lightsabers.
It's a lot of
pretty-
faces.
You got
It's
your,
not- I
you got
wouldn't
your
call
Darth
it
Vader
bad.
stand-in.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
More
you basically have Darth
lightsabers.
Vader. It's just a
got a
lot
cute
going
lady.
on. If
It is. It's
anybody
very
has
busy.
seen the
Different ethnicities.
so there was
we
two
don't get
Force
in trouble.
Awaken posters that came out. One was done by the original artist who did the
Some
original
space
6
shooters?
posters, and the other was this like crammed
Millennium
in
Falcon in there?
Photoshop.
Got a Death Star.
It's Starkiller Base.
Okay.
It's a Death Star.
Yes.
It's
Starkiller
just very
Base,
busy.
wow.
The Link's Awakening one, I do agree.
a
I do
fun
agree.
name.
It has a lot going on.
A little bit, but for me, it's
That's a nice. That's
like
a
I
nice
said.
one.
So
he has. The
oh,
Bloodborne
so what I was
box art
showing.
up.
Well, I love steelbooks, but I also love simple, well-designed steelbooks. And the one I was thinking, if you type in it's called Bloodborne Steelbook Case on. Well, obviously it's exclusive for PS4, but it's very simple. It shows the main protagonist facing the opposite way of the cover, with just the title Bloodborne in white, with the whole steelbook being like a platinum or like a silver. It's simple, but yet it's elegant. It looks really, really nice.
I'm pulling up a new one every week for you guys
So-
to rate.
I like it.
No.
But also, Andy, speaking of the link to what is
Link Awakening.
Link's Awakening. What are you getting, especially from good old Europe, when it comes to that game?
Are you friends with Europe?
He's friends with Europe.
Wine? No, our friend Katie lives in Ireland, and I was able to. I asked her very nicely, "Hey, could you buy me the European edition of Link's Awakening?" Because
I will witness. He did ask very politely.
So the good thing about the
you
Switch
don't
is
know Europe.
like the band. No,
Okay.
they have that one song that plays on the radio.
I just got excited. I thought you were friends with the whole.
The band
You looking to move?
You know,
or the country.
Yeah,
or the
whole
continent.
Continent of
No,
Europe.
one person in the continent who can be
All
a
right,
representative.
You're working.
I'm working my way up.
Yep.
So our friend Katie, who lives in Ireland, I had her get me the special edition. Now, the difference between the special edition in Europe and the special edition in America is simply the fact that it comes with a steelbook that looks like the original Game Boy playing the game Link's Awakening.
Freaking awesome.
Now, the art book and the Switch
120
game case,
pages.
those also come in the America edition for only $10 extra, which also great value for an art book.
So this is. I wonder if this is going to be the box.
I don't know about that box.
Oh,
I know the art book comes with it in the American edition. I know, obviously, the game.
So why doesn't the U.S.
Spoiler
get
alert,
this-
Dan, you're getting the game too when you buy the game.
But
Yeah,
the steel
but
book
I do
is,
love the
yeah,
like the whole complete pack. Andy
The
knows my
steelbook is
obsession
the
with like good looking
real-
boxes.
thing here that I'm getting out of the
Why did
European
we not
version.
get it in the U.S. version? Do we get anything in
Europe-
replace of it, or
No, Europe sometimes gets really weird exclusives, but at the same time, I believe Europe and the Australia in particular gets shafted a lot when it comes
Yeah.
to legitimately everything else. They're always last in line to get game releases. I don't think they get a lot of the exclusives we get. Australia in particular, you have to import a lot of your games.
Yeah, I don't care about them though.
Yeah.
I want to know why we don't get. This
I don't know.
Like this is
I guess I
the
wouldn't buy it
Resident
anyway,
Evil 2 in Europe had a special edition steelbook for Resident Evil 2, and it has on one side
One of the few games that Matt actually kept.
yeah, and it has the zombie on one, and on
It's
the
a really
back
good
it's
game.
just the umbrella symbol
It's one of my favorite
in
games
black,
growing up.
and it looks really nice. So when I went to Europe and I went to a GameStop and they had a pre-owned copy, I was like, fine.
Yeah, so thank you,
So-
Katie, for doing that. I really appreciate it. You were very nice to do
Thank
that.
you, Europe.
Thank you, Ireland.
And also, on a little side note, that her game, or the game that her company is working on, Ramiro Games, is called City of Sin. And there was a pretty big article praising it to basically XCOM, or comparing it to XCOM, and how it is going to basically take XCOM's great features and enhance them.
Is it not a twin stick shooter? Because I remember
It
that
is
was our
not a twin
original
stick
thought.
shooter. It is not a twin stick shooter,
Is
but
it an RTS?
yes. But I think I'm actually something about it. Actually, with obviously, yes, it's Katie's company's game, and that's gonna kind of make me a little bit more biased to wanting to get it. But something about the mafia thing it just feels really cool. Like
I don't see a lot of games involving the
no, but it's
Mafia.
also like factions, so it kind of to me feels like, and according to this article, it kind of feels almost like oh my god, why can I not think of the board game? You're trying to take over the world.
Risk.
There you go. It kind of feels like Risk, except with factions of like a mob, like mafia.
I'm excited
So-
because I love real RTSs are one of my favorite game genres, and I feel like they're very few and far between with releases. That's why I'm so excited for the Age of Empires 2 re-release.
And there's
That's
another
gonna
one,
be coming
Total War or something. I figured that game's right up your alley too.
I believe I saw that at PAX and
Yeah.
wanted to get that as well.
I think it's coming out soon, but
Also, Ireland is the birthplace of my favorite car, the DeLorean. It was manufactured in Ireland. That because it was cheap, but also drug
And-
smuggling.
now you know.
And knowing is half the battle.
G.I. Joe. Sorry, Matt. Matt's just
I'm actually,
looking at us very disappointed in our friendship.
I'm actually
just
pretty
trying to keep
upset at
up.
Sony right now.
What's that?
I'm pretty upset at Sony.
What they do?
Oh, what happened?
It's not what they didn't do. Or no, it's not what they did. It's what they didn't do.
What they didn't.
There you go.
What didn't they do?
So
I mean,
there's
they
a-
haven't created a time machine. You could be mad about
I was
that.
thinking of this last night, and I might be the only one in the room who actually cares about this, but there's a franchise that's Sony specific that they've ignored for a long time
God.
now.
Yeah, there's like 40 of them.
Well,
One in particular that I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Maybe there's another one.
quite a
Oh, well,
few.
Crash Bandicoot, I think they like Crash Bandicoot and Spyro, they like outright lost the rights to. They don't even own the rights to those games anymore.
Yeah, I don't think they ever made them. It was just like
It was Naughty Dog
Yeah.
made Crash, but no. So here's a franchise where the last time it had a good entry in the franchise was like in the early 2000s on the GameCube. No, PS2. And the last time it had an amazing version was like in 1997. That's Twisted Metal.
Twisted Metal 2.
Twisted Metal
They made a PlayStation 3
2.
one and it didn't sell very well.
Twisted Metal Black was okay.
I had that
Yeah.
Sweet Tooth box. That was when I was working at GameStop, so
Oh,
they
I got
gave
like
me the
3
Sweet
and
Tooth
4
box.
and
That was
5.
pretty
Those like tail
Oh,
end of the PlayStation
3
ones.
and 4 were so bad.
Oh my god.
2 was
Rob
so
Zombie.
good though.
Just like randomly, they put Rob Zombies in like as a character.
So the reason I bring
That
this up is
sounds
because
dumb.
it sounds like such an easy concept. Like just do tight controls with the cars and have it shoot missiles.
Well, the
Wait,
question
so are you mad at them just because you realized all of a sudden that they haven't made a Twisted Metal in like 20 years that was decent? Or was
Yes.
there something? Okay, all right, I'm on board with that. I just wanted to make sure I'm understanding.
It was a
that,
random
They didn't
thought
say
I had.
anything. You were just like, I'm pissed
Well, the
off.
other
at
question-
It was the lack of saying
I want
anything that
another
made me
Twisted Metal.
remember.
Well,
I feel that way about Ape Escape, but
Ape Escape, I thought that's like a thing that's coming out now. Wasn't there like rumors?
yeah, there's
Yeah.
like rumors. They started a Twitter account that's like anniversary Ape Escape or something.
it was like
that.
related to Kojima somehow, wasn't it?
That's a long story. I mean, there's like Metal Gear crossover in some of
Yeah.
the.
Yeah, you could
Escape
like
games.
shoot the monkeys. It was
It's
weird.
It's complicated, but they haven't really
You like
said anything
tranquilize them.
official.
It's kind of funny.
Just remake Twisted Metal 2. I used to dick around in that game. That game was so fun. Like I would fall off a building, in which you would die if you fell off a building and like down into like the ground of New York. But then there'd be a code down there that you could enter with the buttons and unlock a new character, like stuff like that. I loved that.
Well, no, that sounds like a great idea, but the question is, do you think sometimes upgrading a game can remove some of the charm of
Did
that
that
game?
happen with Resident Evil 2?
No,
Well,
but
with Twisted Metal, they haven't
cer-
really. They've tried so many times, and they haven't
Yeah,
really been able
and
to
I
get
just-
it back.
I mean, it
Because they sucked.
no,
Twisted Metal Black, I heard, was good though.
Yeah, that was a good, decent game, but still didn't have like that magic that 2 had. I feel.
but that's
like.
probably the worry is how much they spent on Twisted Metal Black and then the sales.
No, Black was the one that actually sold pretty well. It was
It-
the one for PS3 that was just called Twisted Metal.
Oh,
That-
okay, sorry,
They did
that's
a
what I was thinking.
huge marketing push for that one.
and it didn't.
and
So, well, that's the thing.
I don't think.
the
Well, I
latest
don't think
one.
it reviewed well either.
Well, that's the problem. Is what can they do? Are they going to make a story out of it?
Well,
Personally, I
you
don't love games that you can only drive. Like I don't love racing games. I need to be a character. I need to be able to get out of the car. I need to be able to walk around.
I don't
So you don't
mind
like
them-
Mario Kart at all?
as long as they hook you. With
No, I
enough
like
stuff to
Mario
do.
Kart, but like that's one of the other reasons I have a tough time wanting to buy it for the Switch because I just don't feel like I would play it by myself. So
Yeah, I
but-
get you. Those party games are hard to buy because you
Yeah,
know,
it's
like
just-
even like Mario Party and stuff, which I always end up buying. Like,
Mario-
it's like you
Mario
don't play
Party,
much alone.
well, yeah, Mario Party, but they at least had like a side world where you
Even
could
like the Super
walk
Mario
around.
World game, the like 2D one with like you can play the 4 characters. You can play as
Oh,
the
Super Mario
Toad-
60. Oh, the
No,
one
the
for
ones
like
for,
the
Super Mario
Wii.
Deluxe
Wii U,
U.
Super
Yeah, yeah,
Mario,
yeah. Oh my
those
God,
are kind
the
of
naming.
boring to play alone, really.
I
They-
think
they
Twisted
are, they
Metal
are.
might be able to work as a free-to-play model, though.
It definitely could. It's custom skins
Yeah.
for cars, different tires. I mean, just like what Mario Kart 8 did. They
At
did
the
a really
end,
good job with
yeah.
all like the different tires have like different like grips to the some of them are faster, but
I mean, at the end of the day, I can just pop in Twisted Metal 2 into my PlayStation.
now that would
and
be
play
a
it.
fun multiplayer game to play.
That's what I'm saying.
Just kind of like a stupid hey.
shoot missiles
So,
at other
yeah.
cars with special abilities. Like that's like a fun. Like I'm just surprised that I feel like that's a good gaming franchise to tap into that no one's tapping into because it's not a kart racer. There's a difference between something like Twisted Metal where it's an open free range area that you're battling in, and Mario Kart, which is on a track.
You know, I just thought of something that would have been really neat for Rage 2.
What's that?
If they did a multiplayer where you drove around the vehicle and then you upgraded like different parts of your vehicle, and obviously you'd have
Like
to
Mad Max Death Race style.
Yeah, like how fun! I kind of would find that fun. Like you do different like in the game, you find different things that upgrade your. Oh, I thought that was cracking your back. That was just the chair.
Oh, my
anyway.
butt hurts from the chair.
Oh yeah,
All right.
we have been sitting. But I feel like that would be fun in Rage 2. Like some of the single player stuff that could go to multiplayer. You could find obviously the custom skins, different guns, different completely different vehicles that you could use. And I mean, the whole game was designed to like drive around all the time. Full blast.
Yeah, it would be a big-
Obviously, you'd have to fix the terrain because obviously everyone just jumping around on mountains would be kind of tough. But and obviously you'd have to remove the auto lock on thing. But
Yeah, it'd be a big fun open world. I'm just not sure what the point of doing that would be. Like, what would you?
No, it'd
do
just be
different?
kind of
Just
a-
to mess around, kind of like GTA Online or something.
yeah, or kind of like The Last of Us had a very weird like multiplayer part of it where
Oh yeah,
you would think it would be like a team survival against other,
it was just like PvP. Wasn't
and it was just kind of, but it was fun. It was a unique.
That was fine.
I thought it was a unique way to play. And I feel like if they added some sort of racing where maybe it was, 30 cars, 15 on 15, and just everyone was just following people around.
We were also talking to two people where Matt already gave up on Rage 2,
Well-
and I've decided that it's not worth my
I feel like they
time.
haven't made a good racing game in a long time. Like I feel like the last
Well, I feel
good
like
racing game was
Forza
Burnout
and-
Paradise.
Yeah.
They make all these games. I feel like they're all
I had
the
a
same.
Need for Speed for the PC in
The
like
Need-
2003.
the last 4 Need for Speeds have been hot garbage.
I played one. It was I
Even
don't really even know if it was a real Need for Speed. It was called Need for Speed, but it was like
Payback.
like Ridge Racer and
No,
Gran
it was,
Turismo, there
way
haven't been
older.
any good ones
Oh,
in a
okay.
while. I feel like since like
Ridge Racer. That's what the guy said
yeah.
Is that what he says?
at the E3.
Just like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was really excited for that game.
I bet.
But I don't know. I was just thinking of that randomly yesterday.
Alright.
That Twisted Metal title
Allow it.
could be in the works. What else? What else you guys got?
What else do I got?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty excited for, and I think it's like 2-3 weeks. The Marvel game comes out for the Switch.
Ultimate
Ultimate
Alliance
Alliance
3.
3, Black
Yeah.
Order, or
I was
Black
gonna say
Hand.
that
or-
doesn't come out. Avengers doesn't come out until like next year.
No, I'm
June.
not even really excited for that game because I feel like there's going to be some sort of multiplayer only component, and
I'm
I just-
interested to see what the heck it is.
Can we
I
talk
know.
about how they went above and beyond to make the characters in that game not only be the roster of the Avengers in the movies, but look almost identical to them, and then not have them sound or act anything like them?
yeah, that was kind of a disappointment.
Like, especially the Bruce Banner. He's like
Celestial,
wearing
I
the
think?
same clothing he wore in the Avengers.
Oh
But
yeah, the T-shirt.
it's like
kinda looking
very
thing.
odd. It is very odd, that game. But no, Ultimate Alliance 3, I know you've been very excited for that.
Does that have
Yeah,
online multiplayer?
I want to say yes.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, but it's on the Switch, so have fun
Yeah,
trying to
oh,
figure that out.
Take you 3 months and like a chain letter email to get everyone.
As a couch. That was pretty good.
Send this to 7 other people and you'll be able to
Yes.
play too.
That's like not far off from what they make you do. But
Oh my god, they really have been dragged kicking and screaming into the internet like age.
Nintendo, you guys just won E3 and you still haven't figured out how to do multiplayer online. I don't understand the
And
world we live in.
somehow they still sell a crap ton of units.
Well, the
no
Switch is
matter
really
what.
neat.
I know it. Well, and it doesn't. And it's. I think it's proof that the Stadia is not here to stay yet because
It's not
just-
here too. Stadia?
Yeah, meh on that one. I'm giving you a meh grade.
Box art grade? Meh.
Yeah, I'm giving you a meh. So I'm excited about that one, and then I mean,
I'm just excited about more Apex Legends now that the game's
Can we
exciting
go play
again.
like right now? Can we just skip the rest of the podcast?
no, we
That was a
haven't even
rough-
talked about the
There's a
main.
rough couple
That would
months
be
there.
false advertising, Andy. You put up a great graphic.
That I can easily change that no one knows about yet.
Everyone knows about it. We retweeted it. We even came up with the
I
same.
can delete that tweet. I can delete the Facebook
You can't
post.
delete my tweet. I would have control of my own tweet,
No, because you tweeted it from the man.
but I retweeted it from mine.
So that could go away. I can make anything
This
go
is
away.
like
man.
the. This is what all this podcast has come out. These are all.
So
my
why are you
favorites.
excited for Ultimate Alliance 3?
Just I love like dungeon
More-
crawlers, and especially on
Because
the
it's
Switch.
Marvel Diablo, right?
And also, there's not many games that my wife doesn't get really like sick looking at. Every now and then, like she can watch
Do you
Vampire.
have like vertigo or something?
Just certain games, any first-person game makes her kind of nauseous, sick.
Oh, Jess gets like that.
So, but it's quick. It's really quick. It's not like an hour and then like feeling better. So somehow Vampire that she's able to watch without getting sick. Just didn't really feel great.
You don't need
after-
to list every game that she's able to
No,
watch.
I'm just recently. I'm thinking. Sinking City. She didn't sit well with her.
So dungeon crawlers are like one of the
Well,
one
Dungeon
things...
Crawler. Something about the camera, like it moves with the character, and
Oh,
it just,
the character's always at the center and the camera is not moving around.
Well, not only that,
erratically.
the camera can't shift very well because
That's
if
what I
you
mean,
move
yeah.
up, it doesn't spin or like change a lot.
This
And
makes me want to play Diablo 3 now. I have no interest in Ultimate Alliance 3. This just makes me
that's
want to
really
play...
fun. But yet Diablo, that's kind of
Diablo
funny.
3 is really fun.
Well, yeah, but I see. I would think Marvel Ultimate Alliance is your jam, if I may say so. Where it's dungeon crawler, it's all the characters you know and the
I don't know
lore
anything
and-
about Marvel. I know everything about Marvel from the movies.
Well, that's what I figured. This would
If
spike
it
your
was
interest.
DC Ultimate Alliance 3,
Yeah, I'm probably gonna give it a shot, but it does look kind of generic-y. Like I never really got into the other ones that were the first and second ones, so I'm not really sure what.
yeah, nothing
the game
about
is
it wowed me.
But it just
no,
seems like
something
Diablo
about-
3 is I already if it's
Like a
just
brawler,
if
just
you're
kinda
saying it's
average.
Diablo 3 with Marvel characters, I'll just go play Diablo 3.
Oh, see, no, I just think this is more like I never really started Diablo at like 1 and 2, where like the diehard fans are like obsessed with it.
Yes,
I
you
just
want to
kinda-
get in on the ground floor, right?
Well, he already
Yeah.
did with
Well,
The other one,
Marvel
Marvel-
Ultimate Alliance, I never
Last
beat
three.
it 1 or 2, just because now when I go back to it,
no
there's
air
a
horn
whole-
for you.
Thank you. Anyway, I will beat this one. Okay, that's a promise. I will beat this one. So,
Okay.
you want to bet on it on air here?
I believe you,
You want to bet?
You believe who?
I will beat this one.
Dan.
Thank you, Matt.
Okay.
Thank you for believing in me.
It's a Switch. It's made for little kids. He'll do it.
Wow.
That was to Andy.
What are you
You
gonna
were
say to
not
me?
a part of that.
What are you gonna say to me?
burn.
Thank you. You
Burn
could
to
have waited
Dan.
and texted him. Ouch.
Do you want to text during the podcast about how he's going to beat it? 'cause
That was
it's a
to
little
Andy
kid's
and
game?
everyone listening, not you. Okay.
Well, at least I don't platinum terrible games. No, I'm kidding.
Spider-Man was good.
Sometimes you have to.
No, I know.
I don't
does.
platinum
He
bad
pushes
games.
himself really hard. So
I'm not going to platinum Metro. I'll tell you that right now. I already know that.
No, I see. I don't believe you will be interested in that game. In an
Iconoclast
hour and a half, you will
does not
stop
have
playing that
platinum.
game.
I've already
Yeah.
played for an hour and 20, and I want to stop.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's gonna get to the
But
open.
I'm gonna
You're-
give it a one more go.
You are gonna have this influx of wow, like open world, and an open world. Like
well,
that's
because of the glitches, or just
just
because the
it's-
glitches might be
it's-
gone.
It's boring. It's just like
Yes.
there's a hut over there. Oh yay! I found.
There's
a
nothing
bullet.
to loot.
I know.
That startled
There,
you.
there
That
is.
started-
I keep thinking it's Fallout, where like I can like loot
No.
boxes or people. It's like,
And not only that,
oh,
you have to kill enemies in
Oh.
order to loot them, and it's like I just wasted
Also-
like 30 bullets.
what's up with all of these cutscene kills? They're not even asking me to press anything. It's like this like dog thing's attacking me. It's just like, all right, I guess I'm just watching my character do this without actually doing any work.
Please tell me you
okay.
didn't buy this, right?
No, it's on GameFly.
Okay.
That's what GameFly is for these types of games.
Okay. No, perfect.
And
No,
I also just got in Crash Team Racing.
I
Nitro Fueled.
never, ever, very rarely trade in games, especially within the first 6 months that it came out. But I traded.
Well,
that
you
game
said it
in.
was glitchy. That's
It was
understandable.
it was glitchy, but it was just it was boring. Like I said, I got to the open world. I got probably an hour or two into that, and then I was like, nope, I'm done.
Were you bored with the other ones?
No, I beat both of them. I beat Metro 2033 and I beat Metro Last Light. I like both of them. They carried me.
Oh my god.
That's different. That's not since like the podcast. You want me to go through every game I've ever beaten? No. So anyway, the point is,
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
right.
I don't think we need that in our.
I think we need a different sound, something that's like video gamey.
Maybe
That's-
Andy just shouldn't be in charge of the
That feels like we should.
soundboard.
Yeah, yeah. I vote Matt.
You
takes
produce
over
the
soundboard.
podcast then. Mr. I have to ask Andrew to hook
hey,
it up every
then
week.
we got to split up the work here. So Matt can be the next soundboard person, so he can come up with some ideas.
It's
That
just
is gonna
funny.
be a very
it's
quiet
just,
soundboard.
It's just funny because Dan's never going to beat a game.
All right.
So we went into this talking about trophies, and I was just remembering that Iconoclast does not have a platinum trophy, and every time that happens, I get like confused and frustrated. Like I feel like every game should have a platinum trophy.
Even Apex doesn't.
How
Those
do you
trophies
think,
were a
yeah,
joke.
How do you think I feel? We're one of the games that I literally put my heart and soul into and destroyed it like 100%, and it didn't have a trophy list until about 3 years ago.
Game?
Metal Gear Solid 4.
Oh, I was
I
going
I
to say
beat it.
5.
I beat it in what is it? You have to qualify and you have to beat it in under 5.5 hours on the hardest difficulty without being seen, without killing anyone,
Wait
without
a
using a
minute.
health item.
They didn't have trophies on the.
Nope.
Now, did they not add trophies until like a few years into the PS3 life?
And they weren't
yeah,
mandatory
Or
at
just
first.
that
and they
game?
weren't.
They weren't mandatory.
Yeah, they
so
weren't
not all games
mandatory
had
at
them.
first. And so I got the ultimate. What is it? The big boss like head skin,
So
basically. It's
Xbox
like the
did
dead-
start them.
I mean, Xbox had started with the achievements. Yes.
Yeah.
PlayStation like jumped on the
I
bandwagon.
knew PlayStation jumped on it. I didn't know it was like 3 years later.
Well, not only that, that was when the PlayStation 3 was still kind of meh. So it was kind of, I felt like it was kind of a cop out, like, oh, this is kind of stupid. And then obviously now I've been playing a lot, and now they've become quite clever.
Yeah,
a lot of the trophy-
percentages and
yeah,
stuff is
Depending
kinda
on the
cool.
game.
Well, depending on the game, but
'Cause
every,
there are certain games that people will buy just to get the trophies because they're really easy or something like that. Like some really like dumb, crappy game.
oh yeah, there's a website devoted to like, hey, if you play this game in 5 minutes, you can get like 100 gold or 100. What do they call it? In like
Gamer points. or
achievement,
whatever?
gamer points. Yeah, 100 gamer points
Is
in
that
Xbox.
is
That's
that
a real
Xbox?
thing.
Yeah, I was about to say.
It was like Prince of Persia, like, oh, jump off a cliff and you get like a trophy.
PlayStation
And it's
doesn't
like,
have.
okay.
PlayStation just has the trophies. They don't have like a point system as well.
I like that. Well, I also love the fact that
Well, they have a point system because you do level up when you get more trophies.
That
So you
is
have that character
true,
level.
but they don't
Oh,
tell you
No one
that.
really cares about
I
that,
like
though.
I love the percentages of like, oh, only
Yeah.
0.3% of people have gotten this. It's
I
like,
don't
oh wow, that's
like-
It's
pretty
fun because
cool.
it tells me how far I am in a game. If like, okay, I got to the part where only 40% of people have gotten to, and the last trophy is like beating the game, and like only 20% of people have gotten that. So I know how much more of the game I have.
I don't
So-
like every
kind of.
time I pop in a disc of a game I know I'm not going to play for more than 5 minutes. It records that, and then I can never take that game off of my gamer tag ever.
Yeah,
I should create
Yeah.
a second account for
Just for-
shitty
for shite.
games.
There's only the funny thing too is with those percentages. Sometimes it disappoints me. Like when I see a game and it has such a low like completion rate, like 16%, like Outlast or something. It's a really great game, but only like I could be wrong, but I recall only like 20 or 25% of people beating that game. And it's like, oh, that's
Yeah,
such
not a lot
cool
of people
game.
beat games that like buy them. And
I
play
know,
them,
and that
which
kind of
is so funny.
disappoints me. But then it also makes me feel good when you see more of a niche title, and then I'm like, oh, I just did something that was really difficult and really hard. Then it's the percentage is like 60% on like a gold or like a silver trophy. It's like, wow, this like fan base is devoted to it. Like a game like Outward, where it's that like RPG one I was looking at once, and I was like, oh, it's more niche. But the fans are like devoted. Like Bloodborne is another one where you'll beat the game. and
Bloodborne's
it's-
definitely a niche title.
yeah, and
That
those,
whole
Company is nothing but niche titles.
yeah,
Well, it's a
I
niche
feel-
title that everyone loves.
I feel
It's
like
like
it's-
niche in that it's an interesting genre, but it's still super popular. I
well,
feel
only
like.
because it's like
ton of
shoving this
people.
in your face, like you can't beat it, and I feel like that makes people, it challenges people. Like myself, I mean, I single-handedly bought Sekiro because it was like, this is really difficult, and I have really enjoyed Sekiro and Nioh.
Single-handedly bought Sekiro as if usually you need someone there to help you buy it.
I need a parent sometimes.
Just
No.
gotta just help me get it off the shelf. And then the
It's
GameStop
very
attendant
high.
tells you, we
It's
have
very
it behind the counter. You don't need to take it off the shelf. How many times do we have to tell you this?
That's not true.
Only people like us would know that, though. Like, that you don't need to take it off the shelf. Like, any, like, Joe Schmo always takes, like, the display box off and brings it up to the counter.
I'm feeling another topic for another day. A full discussion of GameStop memories when working
I
there.
don't
Oh,
really
Jesus.
have enough to talk about.
Oh,
I don't
well, I
think.
worked there for like 4 years, so that's. A
I
different
worked
story.
there, like, 2 days a week for, like, a year.
Okay,
and
then
it
never
was
mind. Dead
fine.
topic. Speaking of topics, I'm gonna switch, to the new one.
No.
Which no, I can't.
No, I do
I
that.
can't. I think I should. I should
No.
be able to.
No.
Let's take a vote.
Dan, what's that?
listeners. No, we've already discussed what my hat stands for.
It's the Marlins,
Thank you. Wow.
What is it on it, though? Is that...
the fish that play baseball.
Oh, it kind of looks like the Mario hat. A lot like our next topic. We're going to talk about Mario games.
Christ.
That's how you transition.
Matt?
Lawyered.
Take a vote. Which one did you like better?
No, he's always going to vote against me because he hates my jokes.
I'd like to hear the final vote. Just between us and the listeners.
I mean, Dan did pretty good.
thank you.
At what? He didn't do anything.
I said I'm gonna switch to our next.
Yeah,
topic.
why? What did that have to do with anything?
Because-
That was such a good switch. I didn't think he was going to switch, and then all of a sudden he said, "Let's switch to the next topic," and I was like,
Bam!
Oh, of course, every time I say
Mind blown.
I got a new segment, I met with, oh,
Well, yeah, because you're just like, "Bah, bah, bah," or like some
not
kind
very
of
often because you never
ridiculous-
beat anything, so.
All right.
Okay, what's
all
that
right.
discussion? Someone
Matt
lay it
came
on
up
me.
with a really good discussion topic this week, which, by the way, every time someone's come up with a discussion topic, I have given credit to that. So don't say, like, why can't I do it? What are our favorite Mario games and why?
Wait a minute. You're giving false credit here.
Yeah, I can't tell if that's on purpose or not, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll with it if it is or is not.
I came up with the.
Did I say Matt?
Yeah.
Oh, I absolutely meant to say Dan.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I was excited.
I'm not talking about I
was
give
getting
credit,
credit for
and
it.
then proceeds to
Oh,
discredit.
no,
mine.
that would have been really funny, though, had I, like, meant to do
That's why I was
that.
like, wait a minute.
There's such
No,
a- there's
Dan-
such
Dan
a-
came
I was
up
at a
with
Christmas tree shop when I came up with that idea. I was very proud of myself.
Why were you at a
I
Christmas
was not
tree?
there by my own choice. It was because
Why would that remind you of this?
no.
I mean,
that's
I go
when
there
he
to get,
told
like,
me.
gifts
That's
for
when
my
Andy told me
mom.
that I needed to come up with the
Oh.
topic, and I was like, "Crap! I'm around a lot of non-video game stuff." Wait a minute, Mario.
Dan would like to know what our favorite Mario games are and why. And I'm going to let him start off.
So
Even though he already said that he couldn't choose.
no,
yet.
so I will tell you the dilemma that I'm having. The dilemma is between Super Mario 3 which is probably a lot of people's favorite, jumping off point for Mario, and also Super Mario World for the Super NES. I think I'm going to lean more towards the Super Mario World, only because I feel like it made so many strides. Like you could have a Yoshi.
I have never heard you mention Super Mario World. You always talk about Mario 64 and Mario 2, even though that's not a real Mario game.
But that's
Andy, was
not
Super
my...
Mario World your choice?
Maybe.
Oh my god.
Well, because I figured, Dan never talks about that one. He always talks about Super Mario 64 and Super Mario Bros. 3.
Yeah, but that wasn't my favorite. It was one of my favorites.
Well, how come you never talk about it?
I do talk about it, just not to you.
He never talks about it.
I do talk about it. Anyway,
Go on.
Stop discrediting me.
Go on.
Anyway,
why is it your favorite?
I think it's one of my favorites. Well, first of all, because I really enjoy the cape. I think that was one of my favorite things, that you could fly and you could continuously, if you were really good, you could continuously fly throughout the map, and get right to the end. Not only that, I love finding the secret keys and having to drag them to the door, and finding alternate routes to the superstar, what do they call it? The Superstar World.
It's just Star World.
Star World. And then there was even one higher than that, which all those levels were even more ridiculously hard. But just all of the castles were very, very memorable. The boss battles were fun. I absolutely love. Yes, the music was great. Although I wouldn't put that game as the favorite music or themed Mario. That would be obviously the Mario 64. But as far as games in general, just the platforming was incredible. The final Bowser Castle, everything about it, being able to choose different pathways to get to Bowser, whether it's really difficult or really easy, depending on a little bit of luck. Obviously, the first few times you run through it, and then that final Bowser fight where he's in that balloon and he throws out fire and he throws out the turtle shells at you, and being able to pop them off the head. And then on top of that, it's the replayability and that finding all the Yoshi coins, things like that. So, and I also think the fact that I never owned a Super Nintendo for the longest time, that was my biggest drought, was between the Sega and then the next system. So I used to go over to my cousin's house, who would have a Super Nintendo, and I always wanted to play Super Mario World because I didn't.
What do you mean biggest drought?
Biggest drought of owning a system. I used to get all my brother and my sister used to get the Nintendo, and then my big system was the N64. But between the Sega, I never really got any new system because
between the Sega and the N64. Because the
for,
Sega was
for,
out at the
for
same
the number
time.
of years I didn't get it. I had to wait a long time to get the N64. We didn't get it right when it came out.
Oh, I got mine in 2001.
See, no, I didn't get mine till much, much later.
Wait, so the N64 wasn't your big system growing up then?
No, I didn't have a Super Nintendo, so it was
So when did you play this game? Super Mario World?
No, I used to not own a...
Oh, sorry, you went to your...
Yeah,
friends.
so
Sorry.
I used to go to my cousin's house all the time and play it because I didn't own it. So that was one of them when I didn't have control of my own finances and had to wait the longest to get to the next system. Then obviously, PlayStation and Xbox, I had my own money, so I could buy it whenever I wanted. But as a kid, you can't work, you can't do anything like that, so...
Not legally.
You could just... Yeah, exactly. So it was my biggest drought between the system in order to... So that's why, whenever I went over to my cousin's house or whatever, and someone had it, I was like, "Oh my god, you own this! This is awesome! I love this."
No,
So,
what would be your argument for Mario 3 versus World?
Mario 3 is my game.
so either way, I was pissing someone off. So, Super Mario 3, I love the secrets. I love I remember my brother telling me about the whistle, then finding that and being able to skip right to level 8. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not going to go into this because I want Matt. I don't want to take away Matt's idea.
Yeah, who cares about Andy, but Matt.
Sorry, I don't have much to say about it anyway. Good game.
Don't tell them that. You have plenty of good
You
content.
don't have a favorite level, or
I do. But yeah, we're still talking about Super Mario World, right?
Did you have anything else to say about it before we move on?
no? Just that it is.
It's one of my biggest...
Sentimental value too, I gathered.
Yeah, I was going off full sentimental value, and Mario 64 was great, but I didn't get it day one, or I didn't have any special moments. Unlike Ocarina of Time for Zelda, where that one has a lot, even though it's still not my favorite, but it has a lot of those special moments
That'll be a conversation.
that easily could be
different
another
day.
one. So best Zelda game. So
Favorite.
but yeah.
Oh
so
yeah. Do you think Super Mario World is the best one, or is it just your favorite?
Personally, just all around, I think it's the best one. Just
Ooh.
platforming and castle design and like Easter eggs, like special levels, and like those finding those. And then on top of that, like that was one of the first ones where you could ride like Yoshi, and then on top of that, you could find different colored Yoshis that did different things. So it was just kind of, I felt like a big jump between the previous one. And like I said, just the level design was awesome.
Matt made a hard groan when you said that was also the best one. I'm assuming you disagree.
Super Mario World.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's kind of that game's partly like one of my big video game shames in my life, that I've never actually really beat that game or like played it that much. Like
I might have to remind you that it's in the living room.
yeah. So I mean, like Dan, I didn't have a Super Nintendo growing up. I was a Sega kid, so I never like had
Same
it when
here,
it came
yeah.
out. So I ended up playing it much after the fact, and every time I play it, I come into it thinking, oh, this is a lot of people say this is the best Mario game. I got to give this a shot. I got to play through this. But for some reason, whenever I play it, I feel like when I played on the SNES Classic, it feels like it's laggy. I think that's supposed to be that speed, and it's just maybe I'm not used to it.
No, I feel like the SNES Classic does have a bit of button lag that wasn't there in the original.
Okay, because that's really frustrating
I
to me.
cannot confirm or deny that yet. I'll have to try it.
Yeah, maybe if I had a better version of the game,
That was
it would
like
be
an
more fun.
instant feeling I had because
But it just didn't feel nice
I
to
played it
play.
on the original Super Nintendo, so I like knew what it felt like already, and it does feel like there's some button lag with this
'cause it
SNES
just-
Classic.
It didn't feel like I had tight control of it. So like every time I would play, I would be trying to, think where am I supposed to be in half a
That
second.
might be not as much about the SNES Classic and more about the TV to the SNES Classic connection, though.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I could never get into that for some reason. Like I would always play the first, world and a half, and then I would just kind of taper off because I was like,
But you
Doesn't
could get
feel
into
good.
Super Mario Bros. 3.
yes, Super Mario Bros. 3 is fantastic. It's the greatest Mario game ever made.
I mean,
It's a subjective opinion.
It was between 3 and Super Mario World for me. I mean, yeah, it's an absolutely fantastic game. I love the different level designs.
Yeah, I love it. It was like one of the first.
Big World. That was like my
That's
favorite.
my favorite world.
I loved Big World,
Why don't you
So-
talk about Super Mario Bros. 3, Dan?
but it's your choice. I picked Super Mario World.
Yeah,
Matt,
so
there's a certain amount of there's like a minimum time limit of talking you have to do on the podcast, and you haven't reached it yet.
Time it. What was your favorite level? What was your favorite
the one
map?
where you're tiny in the giant world.
All
where
right,
everything's
and then
huge
what
and
was your
crazy
favorite
looking.
castle, or
I don't know. I just liked I liked that all the different worlds were so unique. Like it was
water
kind of
world?
yeah, it was kind of one of the first games to do that, where you would start in this world. It would just be kind of this average like foresty world, and then you go to the next world that's completely like water, and then you go to this next world and like everything's 10 times the
Desert.
size, which is crazy. They've never done anything like that before. And it has this nice like difficulty curvature too, where at the beginning of the game it's fun. Like you could play it, anyone in your family could pick it up and play it, and know exactly how to play it, obviously. But you play some of those last worlds, and like it's a super challenge to beat beat some of those last levels. Plus, it like you were saying, the secrets it's a blast. Being like I almost have to fight trying to get the whistle at the beginning because it's so fun to get the whistle and jump to the end of the game. Where like
Yes.
sometimes you're like, oh, I actually want to see all these levels that I end up skipping over most of the time.
I always skip over the ice one, even though I love it.
Yeah, there's all these
So-
levels. Like I feel like the levels you'd play the least are worlds 4 through 6 or whatever, because you just end up skipping them.
Sucks.
Yeah.
I hate 7.
But yeah, it's one of those few games. Like we look back on Nintendo with kind of like these nostalgia glasses, and you play games on the Nintendo Classic, and a lot of them are fun, but you play them for 20 minutes, and then you're like, all right, I'm good with this. But I feel like that's a game you can play, from beginning to end over and over, and it's like it still kind of holds up today, which is kind of crazy to think with that technology. Like it was kind of one of the first games that had this, to me at least, had this huge open world that you would just want to play over and over, and it's kind of timeless in that respect. But
It was. And it was also, I think, one of the first games that was like premiered in like a movie.
yes, The Wizard?
The Wizard.
Yeah,
I
that
just
was
saw
fantastic.
recently.
That was just one
the
big
guy,
advertisement.
The guy at my work kept making references to it, and I was like, "What was that?" Because he used to be like Ninja Gaiden. Ha! So he kept making that reference. I'm like, "What is that from?" And he was like, "Oh, it's from the movie The Wizard." And then he pretty much like forced it on me, and I watched it, and it was fun. Mr. Andy,
If your big shame is not playing Super Mario World, mine would have to be Super Mario Bros. 3. because I
Really?
didn't grow up with the game.
Really?
So I went from, so if we're kind of tracking what systems we had growing up, I had the NES growing up. I skipped the entire 16-bit generation. I completely skipped. I didn't have
Oh my
anything from
God.
that.
Wow.
Didn't have a Sega, didn't have a Super
Are you
Nintendo.
homeless?
Wow.
Whoa.
Parents didn't have a lot of money, Matt.
Are you
Sorry to let
okay,
you
Andy?
know.
That kind of hurt. Like,
And then my brother surprised me in like 97, 98 and bought me a PS1. So I went straight to the PS1. I didn't even get my N64 until like 2001.
oh, wow.
So that was like right when the GameCube was coming out. So my big jam growing up was Super Mario Bros. 1, just because I already had it. I had like, the Duck Hunt Super Mario Bros. Combo, and kind of like Super Mario Bros. 3, I knew all the secrets, so I could skip
Yeah,
right
yeah.
to World 8 so quickly.
You could do that in...
Mhm.
I remember you could skip...
You can skip to World 4 really quickly.
Oh,
But
okay.
then, once you're in 4-2, there's a plant you can activate to go up.
Oh, I
And then
always...
you
And you
could
have to be
skip-
little, right?
No, you didn't do that in the first one. This is the original Super Mario Bros.
Yeah, I thought there was one where you
No,
had to
if
hit
you
this
did
combination.
if you did it right, you don't have to be little.
Oh my god, I could
But,
never do that. I always like, yeah, I got the. Oh,
But yeah, you get the
crap.
plant, and then you can go straight to World 8. So I never played 3 because I didn't have it growing up. I actually have it in there now, but I still haven't played it because I have it on the NES Classic. So this was a struggle for me. But I have to go to Super Mario World. So my first induction into that game was in 2000, so long
Wow.
after that game was
Out, yeah.
relevant. I would go over to my dad's house, and when he started dating my now stepmom, she had a Super Nintendo that she didn't use, and it had the Super Mario Bros. All-Stars, which had like redone versions of a bunch of games that weren't really good
Very laggy.
redone versions. But that, a lot of button lag, especially in the Lost Levels one. But I played Super Mario World, and this was like sprite gaming during this era of gaming was like they had perfected the technology. Like, yeah, it got even better once you got to like the Game Boy Advance and stuff like that, because they were kind of like going back to the well with that. But they had perfected this type of gaming, and then they moved on to polygon gaming, and early polygon games are very bad. Super Mario 64 is probably like one of the few outliers where it's like very playable today still. But Super Mario World, for me, I would just play it every weekend all day. I absolutely loved the game, and I didn't really grow up on Mario 64 or anything like that. Honestly, it was a hard toss-up between Super Mario World and the original Mario Bros, but I just feel like Super Mario World is much more refined, and I have so much more fond memories playing it as a kid. I loved the secrets, the Star World, the Yoshi, everything Dan mentioned basically because he stole my game. But
Yeah, I feel like we're all kind of biased towards games that are early because a lot of these newer ones are a blast too, like
However-
Galaxy and
I loved Super Mario Odyssey.
Odyssey. Yeah, it's just like
I
have so many great
tried to
memories
love
of these
Galaxy, but I have like this weird thing where I hate the Wii.
Well,
Galaxy games are
if
so
you don't
good.
like the controls, I mean,
Yeah.
that's going to hinder your
But
experience.
let me ask both of you something. Have either of you played through and or beaten Super Mario Sunshine?
Sunshine is underrated.
I've heard that. It's
I
great.
was just going to say, I agree. I did
was gonna
not
mention
get
that.
super far in that game. It's actually pretty
Yeah, I played it.
difficult. Like it
Should I play
requires.
Yeah, it's fun. It's difficult. It's challenging.
That would be.
I've heard that that's like one of the most underrated games, especially because
It is, like,
Mario is
people
such
just
a
Also,
popular
Super
character.
Mario RPG
People trash it because it came
I
out.
like RPG.
and Super.
That I've been playing.
Well, not only that, I love the timing of it. Like, and he would do like famous like attacks or whatever, and it would be like Koopas and stuff like that.
Did
So-
you?
But yeah, Sunshine came out. It was the one that came out after the N64 one, right? And
It was GameCube.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like everyone, had high expectations for it, and I guess they didn't think it lived up to that, but it was still a blast to play. Like some of it was a little hokey. The music, the Delfino music, gets a little repetitive. Yeah,
They didn't.
But-
It's so much so that they didn't do another Mario in that style until I would say Odyssey, because Galaxy was a little different. Galaxy was a little more constrained. I feel like
Yeah, like
Odyssey.
puzzle box.
I
Mm.
have never played 2. I think I only played a few minutes of Galaxy.
Oh, you haven't played the second one?
No,
They're both
I own
great.
it. I just have never
They're both
played
kind
it.
of the same thing.
they're both kind of the same thing, but they're both great.
So I've heard nothing but amazing.
Very
things
rare
for
is
it.
there a Mario game that's outright bad. Like just
Mario
like a mainstay.
Mainline.
Oops, All Stars.
Well, that's not a real Mario game. But like, I don't know. I guess the only Mario games that I can say I've outright disliked is disliked. No, I've disliked them. I haven't found them very fun. Or like the newer
The new Super Mario Brothers.
platforms
Yeah.
because they've been getting too stale.
Yeah, those are kind of the ones that are kind of
They-
designed for like kids and families where, if you die, you're playing with friends, and if you die, you're in like a bubble and you're not really dead.
Not only that, it like pulls like you can't go faster
You can just
than
be a
the last
character that
person.
literally can't die too. You can
Yeah.
unlock like Norbit, and it's just like he can't be hit by
I
anything.
feel like I
It's
enjoy
just like,
Mario
alright.
games as a loner more than I do as a multiplayer
It,
platform.
Yeah, me
it just
too.
doesn't work. I feel like
I don't think it translates as
No.
they thought it would, or maybe it's just not for us. It could just be for like families that want to play with their little kid.
I guess if
Like
someone just wants to play, but I feel like it hinders that experience because if one person is a lot better than the other person, it'll totally screw up the first place or whoever's taking the lead. But
Yeah, Mario World though, like the sound effects were like oddly like
I love
Very-
the spin. You'd be able to spin and like break the blocks.
I like that like I'm not doing it justice, but it's like
When you go into a castle
into
like
a
door.
castle,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, it sounds like the door.
It's
I
very
always hated that he
satisfying
left
noises.
Yoshi outside during the Bowser castle.
Poor guy.
I know. He's just like, all right, bye.
But yeah, Super Mario Bros. 3, that's the one that everybody always talks about, I feel, and I've just never played through it.
Oh, it's a
Crazy.
definite thing.
Yeah, it's so
It's
fun.
a-
It's
it's
so
a
good.
must.
It's a definite, yes, it is definitely a thing.
It is
Dan,
definitely
thank
a
you.
thing, and it's definitely.
Thank you for clarifying.
Thank you so
I wonder
much.
how much if it would hold up, like it'd be kind of interesting to see you play it for the first time. Because I imagine when I play it,
He'd be good
it's a
at it.
lot of
He'd be fine.
nostalgia. Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, would he like it as
Give me
much?
too much credit.
Because for me, I go back to it and I think of all my memories of playing it, and like, I know how to do everything. And it's just kind of fun to play this game that I know every little nook and cranny, and like just play it over and over. But it's Andy.
The original Mario Bros. I can tear through like no tomorrow.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
I suck
I can
at that one.
rip
That is,
through
I
that game.
suck at that one so much.
I would just play that one every day.
Something about the jumping with that, it just feels weird. It feels very different from compared to the other ones where it feels like a little bit floaty. Like he almost like stalls in the very tip of the
Yeah,
jump.
they didn't
the
do that
peak
in
of
the
the
first
jump.
one.
They definitely did not. It's very like jump. Like whereas the
I'm
other
really
one,
surprised you didn't bring up Mario Bros. 2. I thought you really loved that one.
I do love to, but
Even though it's not a real Mario game.
Yeah, I don't like to.
It's not a real Mario
I
game.
like to only because I used to, and I don't know why I used to like it, but the dig one where you'd jump into one of the tubes, or not the tube, but yeah, I don't know, the potted plants or whatever the heck it
The
was.
pipes.
No, but it wasn't a pipe. You never really went into
Is that what
pipes in
you're
that
talking
game.
about when you go underground and you have
Yeah, and you have
fight
to like
those
dig the
three
hole,
guys?
and you have to keep like going to
Oh.
different sides, and you have to make sure that he doesn't follow you, and
Oh my god.
something about that.
Matt has really
I don't know. I just I
aggressively bad memories of this game, evidently.
I feel like they used a lot of ideas from that game to make Super Mario World. Like the idea when you took the item and then it unlocked that sun guy, or not the sun guy, but that metal guy that would chase you around. That's kind of like the sun from Super Mario 3. And then the key to find like secret entrances was in Super Mario World. So they used a lot of things that worked well in that game for later Marios
That's a
that were
good point.
that were very successful.
a lot of
so-
characters from that game never made another appearance, though.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. But it was also neat also that it was the first one that had different characters that also had different abilities. Like Peach would be able to float.
I think
And then-
that's why I didn't like the game, though. Like, it's like I didn't know who to pick. And
I
then
kind of
what
liked it
to
because
do
you
with
could
them.
you could work with your strengths.
I tried it at my cousin's house one time. I'm like, what's this garbage? This isn't Mario.
I mean, it definitely has a different feel than the original. Like for the first three, it definitely feels the most outcast out of all three.
I feel like between
Hands down.
Sunshine and Odyssey, there's like this lull of just like either non-memorable or mediocre Mario games, though.
was that
Sunshine and
was that an
Odyssey?
attack to Galaxy?
A little bit. I feel like that's mostly the game that
People
he
love
was
Galaxy.
attacking.
So
Galaxy
I'm
is
not
the
alone.
Galaxy-
the highest rated
right.
Wii game.
Galaxy, I'm not saying was a bad game. Galaxy might not come to my mind because I didn't really have a lot of Wii games, and I also got rid of my Wii at one point. That might have been why. Galaxy, from what I played of it, was good. It was decent, but like Odyssey, like broke records for a
Odyssey was
Mario
good times,
game,
yeah.
you know. And even though maybe they had a few too many moons that you could get, it was still a lot of fun. It harked back to Mario 64.
Which Odyssey?
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
You were a little underwhelmed by it.
I was. I think the fact that I was more excited for the platforming, and then they like some of the characters that you turned into, like the caterpillar, I thought was actually kind of a neat idea where you kind of had to. It took a lot of skill to like decide.
Oh yeah.
So that was really neat. But some of the other characters that you turned
He was
into,
from Mario World originally.
yeah, they felt very just a little bit gimmicky. Like, oh, I'm just using this to get to this point, and then okay. I was a little underwhelmed.
I am stuck at the. I like played the hell out of that game. I'm in this position right now where you have to go back to the dark side of the moon and play through this really, 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 really hard level, and I haven't been able to beat it yet. 'Cause
Wow.
Fun.
it's
It's a rough one.
really hard. Did you
Yeah.
beat that?
Yeah.
I
Is
gotta
it
beat
just hard as in like platforming, or
It's-
is it
it's a
hard?
lot of different steps? Yeah, there's like here's a challenging part, and you have to do this, and then you have to do it. The next challenging part is a completely different like thing that you're doing.
No
Why-
checkpoints.
maybe-
And there's no checkpoints is the
do
problem.
Easter egg are there like Easter egg levels
Well,
that?
the more moons you get, the more things you unlock in the game, even after the final boss.
Oh, there's like new worlds.
You unlock the dark side of the moon and stuff like that. And
Maybe I just didn't like. I hit those part, but a lot of them, like I said, I just didn't like.
you were. It was.
I liked
it just
being-
wasn't your Mario game.
No, it's just I liked being Mario, and I felt like the whole goal of the game was to become another character and then use that to your advantage. And I just something about it took me kind of out
See,
of.
I liked that a lot.
I mean, it was a neat, kind of a tech or not feature. That's what I should say. It was a neat gimmick feature.
Yeah, it can feel gimmicky sometimes. Like, oh, okay, I'm a
Yeah, like,
big
I'm just
Tyrannosaurus
using this to
Rex.
cross
It's
this
like,
one
alright.
thing.
Yeah,
It's like,
no.
I'm
But,
not really doing anything.
I definitely understand that.
I just love the plan. That's why
I think the gimmicking was a little more inventive, and I'm going to compare this to a recent game we found out about that added a new gimmick where your Pokemon gets
just
really
get bigger.
big now.
Yeah, but so there's some games that
Sorry,
I loved.
Pikachu. I
I
know
love
having
the
it here is really weird to
3D
mention that, but
One of the best 3D ones I've played in recent memory, and I would have to give like if we're doing the 3D like aside from Sunshine and
Odyssey, Galaxy.
yeah, no, so,
I don't know where
Mario
you're
64. Hang on, I'm trying to work this in my mind. I'd say one of my favorite 3D Marios, besides like obviously Mario 64 and Sunshine, Super Mario Sunshine, would be Super Mario 3D World for the 3DS.
I've heard really good things about that game.
Well, not only that,
I
like
just think
the
it's so
platforming.
confusing with all those titles.
They do. Then there was the cat one, which was good, but it didn't have.
That was on the
same...
Wii U, right?
Yes,
Okay.
it did, but it also the level design was not nearly as good.
Is that the one they ported to the Switch for like a full $60 price?
No.
Oh, okay.
That was the side scroller one, which just like Matt said, about Super Mario World, where he just played it for 20 minutes and he was done. It was something about because you could only play like 1-1, 1-2, and then you kind of dropped it.
Yeah.
So something about, and that's just you didn't like it. It was just something about these games that they're not. I don't know. They just don't have that for Mario like
so
level
are
designs.
you saying you're more into like the side scroller ones?
Well, no, that's why Super Mario 3D World was so amazing for me. There's one level where you literally are jumping down to each like platform, and each platform is like a 2D character of the Mario world. So it's so like nostalgic, and just the 3D part of it is so cool. And then as you're jumping down through the trying to get to the other platform, there's like different red rings that you can go around, and if you swing down you get all 8 coins, you get stuff. So there was always something to do when in between jumping between platforms. But the nostalgic factor was awesome. They recreated like certain levels in 3D, and being able to have that, I think that was right along the time when the new 3DS came out, where like any direction the 3DS was, it worked well with your eyes.
A little bit better.
At one point it was you had to be like very stiff and your neck would hurt after like 2 levels.
Dude, I don't know what this thing with you and handhelds and your neck hurting is. I've never had that problem with
Oh
holding
no, something
handhelds.
about I mean,
You gotta work on your posture, dude.
I know I gotta go back and forth, do some stretches, but no, it was the Super Mario 3D World out of the newest ones would be my favorite.
Tomorrow
Cool.
I'm bringing my Game Boy Advance SP with me to the beach and playing
Nice.
Cap.
The way to do beach
Did you
life.
beat Minish Cap yet?
No, that's why I'm bringing it with me. Well, I figured I started doing the Zelda podcast, so I was going to slow down and maybe play them as I do that podcast, as opposed to playing a bunch of games and then trying to backtrack to what I
Oh yeah, you
remember
want
about them.
probably what you're feeling at the
Because
moment.
that's what I'm going through with Skyward Sword. I'm forgetting some stuff that I want to talk about because I beat it like a month ago now. It's been a while, but
I just picture Andy like playing the Skyward Sword, just like flailing at the TV, just like die.
so when I faced a hard enemy in that game, that's what I had to do because I'm trying to do it the right way, but they're not giving me enough time because never mind. I'm not getting into it. It's screw you, Skyward Sword.
I just picture it.
Just wasn't
Do you remember
mechanically a good game.
that episode in IT Crowd where he's like playing the Wii and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get you, bitch," and then he's just like going like this, and you just hear like punching sounds every time he like.
Because I'm sure the audio listeners know what that means.
I know. Sorry,
He was moving his
I
hands
was
around in
moving my
a
hands
gyrating
very-
motion.
Yes,
Things were going so
Anyway.
well.
Watch the IT Crowd. It's a good show.
it is, and also Father Ted.
Matt, where can people find you?
Matt Talks Games on the Twitter. Yes. That's probably it for now.
Yeah, I think we should. I think that's a good call.
I'm going to get back on it at
Sure,
some point.
Sure.
I think
Dan?
I'm gonna at least try at some point to record gameplay. But if you said the microphone was terrible, anyway, you can find me on the Twitter name at Game Review Guy.
Go to the Man Bar podcast and you listen to the Let's Play I did of Metro and you tell me what the quality sounds like. To me, it sounded really poor.
All right,
And that might be
I'll try it.
because the headset doesn't have like a microphone sticking out. It's like built into it, like through Bluetooth.
Yeah, I want to see if I can use this.
I mean,
magical
I
thing
didn't
that
even
we're
think
talking
about
into
that.
right now.
I just assumed you needed to install drivers to use something like this, and that wouldn't work. You can find me at HighLaneAndy on Twitter. I also write articles for TwoGuysPlayingZelda.com now, so check out that website. It's a really good website if you're huge into Zelda. You can find the podcast at Manabar Podcast on Twitter, and you can also email the podcast with any comments, questions, or concerns at manabarpodcast@gmail.com. Matt has gotten 0 of those so far from
Yeah, it's
anybody.
very depressing.
Send one.
Someone send something to me.
Send me.
Please.
Even
Tell
if
me
it's like
you're
hate mail,
alive.
just send it.
I just need to know.
That sounds like it would be fun to
Someone's
read.
out there. Someone's
It'd be funny.
listening.
Also, remember, we have a YouTube channel, also Manabar Podcast, where you can, if you prefer that as opposed to the audio editions of these shows, we're going to try to do more things on the YouTube channel, such as Let's Plays and stuff like that. Manabar Podcast every Thursday at noon. Of course, it's a podcast. You can just kind of download it whenever, but that's when it's going to come out. And with that, this is The Collector, The Trophy Hunter,
And the Bargain Bin Gamer logging off.